I'm in go mode, go. Yeah, I'm in go mode, go mode.
All right.
That's 6.
What's up, guys? That was my dev. Anyway, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Out of Shape Allstars podcast, presented to you by Don's Inc., sponsored by Culture Capsule. We got everybody here today except for Devin again. He's out. Unfortunately, he's battling with an issue. It's all personal. He's going to be fine. He'll be back next week. That's what we're hearing. But I guess we should go around the room. So starting off with the dude that looks like Ray Charles in the corner over there, we'll go on with Just DQ.
Yup.
Underneath me, we got finger looking good Durant.
What's up?
Hey, yo.
What's up, everybody?
Then we got K Jet.
Yo.
And then we got Johnny repping purple and gold for some stupid reason. Johnny 5.
I know.
And me. Y'all know me by now, so I'm not going to introduce myself. My mama calls me asshole. You can call me Eddie. It's all good. Anyway, this is episode 26.
26.
26.
Yes, it is.
26.
Drew, how you say that in Spanish?
I'm 26.
What? Say that one more time.
26.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's 26, but I'm going to let you have that one.
Ventas.
26.
Ventas. What are you, Spaniard? Anyway, we start every episode with COVID in sports, and there was a lot that happened. I'm gonna talk about this one real brief, and we'll talk about the other stuff that happened, obviously in the NFL. But my top story is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo of Juventus, big soccer player. Everyone knows who he is. Tested positive for COVID-19. Now, what this does affect on the grander scheme of things, and also two players, one that plays for in the MLS, I think he plays for the Sounders, and then another guy that plays in the Premier League. I forgot the team that he plays for, but both of those guys play for Peru. Unfortunately, in the next couple of weeks, we have World Cup qualifiers. This is what this means now. Again, I know a lot of us don't really follow soccer. I watch the World Cup. I think most of us watch the World Cup for USA Fever or whatever it might be. But obviously, you got two Peruvian players testing positive. You wonder if they take that with them to Peru, and then now Peru becomes a super spreader while they go on and play these teams. Could be very, very dangerous. But I mean, I don't know. It's scary. It's rough. I don't think it'll get to that point. I mean, hopefully we caught this.
We're about to shut down again. It's gonna be
I mean, it's looking that way. And obviously on the local level too, another story that needs to be mentioned. They're not the best team in collegiate basketball. Somehow they always find a way to sneak their way in the NCAA bracket. But Iona College has now shut down. That's a local school right by us, a local college. Go Gales if you went to Iona. So now all those kids are back home. Quarantining for 2 weeks. Again, basketball hasn't started yet at the collegiate level, so you hope that this doesn't carry on, but it's just something to think about.
It will definitely carry on.
But obviously, another week of postponed games and delayed games. We are currently watching the Bills get. I mean, they're making a comeback, right? Trying to make a mountain a comeback against the Titans on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday night football.
They messed up the whole schedule with all that shit. They postponing games, moving games.
Yeah. So, John, I'm going to ask you. So we had our little, obviously, NBA perfect, except for a couple of guys leaving the bubble, breaking bubble codes. No one really got sick. But
girls in rooms,
we had our hiccup with baseball. I know MLS went through some shit too, but hockey was pretty safe. But now you're starting to see this happen with football. John, is football in trouble?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna lean towards 70%.
In trouble or in the clear?
No, it is in trouble, but I feel like football is the way they're running is fuck it. We're just gonna push this, and we're just gonna keep going forward. But I feel like football is 70% in trouble. 70% in trouble. I'm surprised it hasn't been more positive tests.
Bro, didn't they just turn down an appeal to like do a bubble format?
I think they said,
Yeah, that's
So, well, like in the playoffs, right?
right. Just like what baseball's doing. That's what I've been hearing. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it'll be too hard to do a bit. Like, unfortunately, it'll just be too hard to do a bubble with football because
But like in the playoffs, I think it would. But playoffs is like it's more concise because like how much is in the playoffs? Like 6 teams, 12 teams.
Well, they expanded the playoffs. I think it's going to be
14, I think.
14 teams now.
14.
wild cards. There's only one.
And again, I mean, Kev mentioned this. Yeah, Kev mentioned this previously too. It's going to be pretty hard. I mean, you got 53-man rosters on one team, and then plus like 100 personnel. And then like again, like if they do allow family and friends in the stands and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. I mean, you know, Tennessee's been a real big problem with it too, and now Tennessee has becoming
scored another
Tennessee
touchdown.
is a hotbed.
Tennessee is becoming the hot spot, like New York was, like Florida was, like California was. Tennessee is the new hot spot, and here we are watching this game. Kevin just mentioned Derrick Henry just scored another touchdown, but there are fans in East End. So, I mean, I guess Pinky, I'm gonna get you involved. I mean, how do we stop the bleeding here? How do we stop this from escalating more than it is?
Let's call it. There was I seen like articles talking about how Tennessee wasn't even following the mask protocols.
No, none of them. Mm-hmm. Yep. Like I said, so Tennessee. So not only is the football team, but the actual state is in trouble. Nashville, I think, is being the most hotspot in Tennessee, obviously. You know, kind of like how New Rochelle was here in New York.
Rules, and they'll be, you know, just follow every guideline protocol they have you that they put forward for you to, you know, follow to stay safe and not catch it and not shut the league down. Just follow it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but Judge Floyd said, "I can't breathe," and we say we can't breathe because we're wearing a mask, but we're forced to wear one anyway.
So, you know, it's 53-man roster, like a whole bunch of coaching staff, at least 10 to 12 of them. Each team is like probably like, fuck that shit. I don't catch that shit or don't believe that shit is real. You know, we got those people.
Oh, well, that's the joke I was trying to make. There was like a whole thing about, I think it was in Utah or whatever. There was like an anti-mask rally. The problem is that like
in Brooklyn.
it's. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Look, so I don't know if you guys watched SNL, but Bill Burr, the God, the legend, Bill Burr hosted SNL finally, so I mean, he said it perfectly. It's like, yeah, wear a mask. It's not that hard, but also like, don't be one of those people that are like, yeah, you should be wearing a mask. I'm protecting. Like, don't shame people for not wearing a mask, but also at the same time, just don't be an asshole and wear a fucking mask. So. You know, obviously, there's some of us that are for it. There are some of us that are against. I think the easiest thing to do is just be a fucking decent human being. You know, and when you go out and when you go do these crazy things and when you decide you want to go be around other people that you don't even know, you know, have the common respect and have the common decency to just put a mask on.
Well, things don't make sense because, like, as you know, like, over in the eastern side of the world, they wear masks all the time due to the pollution. You don't really hit cases of them dying frequently. Just wear a fucking mask. Not that difficult.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's really not.
Anime, you see people wear masks, and at a certain point, a few years ago, I'm not sure if you remember this. There was a trend to wear a mask for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Of Ayo and Teo were dancing fucking teddy bear mask. Like, people were really wearing masks for a style purpose. Now you have to wear one because you need to wear one. It's a fucking problem, which makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was.
You guys, anybody got any other COVID stories? I think, I mean, that's most of it. Obviously, the NFL is a big part of it. Hopefully, no other games get delayed.
I forget the guy's name. I had it written down somewhere, but the main person, there's like a high-profile golfer that.
Oh yes. He just got kicked off the tour. I actually just had it too. I screenshotted it. Give me 1 second here. Oh no.
And I know Tiger's like licking his chops. Like, yeah, it's lit. I'm about to get me another one.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, fumble. Titans is tight. This game is over. Bro.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it was. I thought I screenshotted it, but I guess I didn't. Well, he's out. Big guy into the what is it? The Champions Cup or whatever the hell it is now. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We're moving on to the MLB, and now we got a couple of. It's actually a trio of sad boys in for this segment. Obviously, you're listening to this on Thursday. But the wound still hurts. Yankees were eliminated by the Tampa Bay Rays on Friday in a day of game fives that it all should have ended and it all should have went the way that we wanted it to go. Unfortunately, it didn't. Obviously, we're talking about the Yankees being eliminated by the Tampa Bay Rays. Obviously, Houston Astros go to move on. So I believe the Rays are ahead in that, right? Currently 2-0. They're up 2-0. In the series, so who cares?
Man, fuck baseball. Yankees lost, man.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, baseball is still going on. We don't care, but we should probably talk about it. All my picks are out, so I'm done. I mean, I wanted Yankees obviously to win it all, but Yankees Padres, I thought it would have made for a good home run hitting series, and that didn't work out because the Dodgers beat the Padres. And the Braves beat the A's. So the Braves are in playing the Dodgers. I think the Braves are currently up 1-0. They're playing again tonight as we speak. I currently have the Bills game, but I'm about to switch that now. For the most part, this game is pretty much over.
Lost, man.
So, yep. So, John, I'm going to go to you since you're pretty upset about it. So the last couple of years, the Yankees have been eliminated from playoff contention by the team that went on to win the World Series. So 2 years ago, we were knocked out by the Astros, then the Red Sox, then the Astros again. Oh, sorry, then the Astros who ended up losing to the Nationals. But, the team that went on to beat the Yankees went on to the World Series is what I should say. 2 out of 3 of them ended up winning the World Series. So, John, do you think the Rays have a good shot of winning the whole thing?
Shit, I'd rather them go than the other guys go, but hey, fuck it. I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees need more pitching.
Yeah, man. I mean, you couldn't have played. All right, let's quickly talk about the Yankee game because I didn't want to do it, but whatever. Let's do it.
Gorman would have been starting that game.
Okay, fine. But honestly, I think Cole pitched the best game he could have pitched, right?
There's no knock on Cole. That's what he gets paid.
No, of course.
I think he had like a extra, like an extra ace. We could have used him, or.
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't all been on his shoulders. That's number one. But you couldn't have gotten a better performance from Cole. I mean, he gave up one hit that was a home run. And obviously, if you saw the play, I know we're talking about this almost a week later. But Judge almost had it. I guess if this was Yankee Stadium, if he knew the stadium. I mean, he almost broke his fucking neck on that, trying to rob that. I don't know if you saw. It was kind of like a little short porch kind of scenario.
Yeah, he almost stunted his growth, bro.
Yeah, he almost literally broke his neck. But
I'm gonna let you get to your point. The one thing I do hate is like a new trend in baseball, but it's like starting a pitcher to only pitch like 2 innings and to put like a whole bunch of relief pitches. I hate that shit. For all that, just get an extra starter on your roster and let him pitch, and then when it's time for the relief pitchers to pitch, let them pitch.
So that was going to be another question I was going to bring up, John, but since you're bringing it up, I'm actually going to throw it to Kev since, he's kind of had some issues with coaching all over the place. And DQ and Drew, don't feel left out. Obviously, we're really, really upset. So chime in if you need to chime in, but we need to just air this out.
I
Kev,
understand.
Come on, get your grief on.
Kev, do you think that Boone's decisions this postseason was sketchy, and do you think he's on the hot seat?
He's obviously not on the hot seat because if anybody knows today, Steinbrenner, Hal, said that he'll be back for next year. So that's for everybody that's listening and or watching it.
Well, I mean, hot seat in the regard of if things don't change midway through the season, I mean, he could get flamed.
Hot seat in regards to the fans, I think more so than potentially his job in the middle of the season. But there's two things to take away from it: good and extremely bad, I think. So we'll start with the extremely bad first. I don't think you start a rookie in the playoffs in a second game and he's throwing 1 more pitches before he even throws his first pitch You have J Hap warming up behind him. We're talking about a stadium that's empty. We're talking about hearing the pop of a glove in the outfield behind him on top of his nerves that he's already trying to be prepared for this game. And you send him out there to go 1 inning. And before he throws his first pitch, you got his person replacing him, like throwing already. That was bad. That was horrible.
Mhm.
And I feel bad for you, Davey. If you're listening to us, I know you're a fan. Eddie,
Friend
tell
of the
him that.
podcast.
Eddie, tell
Take
him
it
that
serious.
you feel bad for him in Espanol, please.
Delvi, lo siento, Tigre, tú hiciste lo que tú podías en ese momento, pero tú sabes lo que pasó, pasó y ya no podemos hablar de eso, pero tú sabes que nosotros aquí en OS Podcast está contigo, Tigre.
So, Davey, again, sorry, bro. But then the really good thing is, finally, boom, sat Gary Bumchess. That's the only thing that I really want to take away from that whole series. And thank you, Higashioka. And we'll get him next year. I'm not worried about it.
Well, Cole loves Higgy. I mean, that's really what that was all about. I mean, he loves having him.
Yeah,
But anyway, Yankees play their hearts out. You know, I don't want to like relive the past. You know, again, we are talking about this. For our listeners, this is going to be a week and a half. Go ahead, John. What you say?
Also, Gary, don't try to bring my man's down because Cole got chemistry with the backup catcher.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
He still got benched. He still got benched for Game 3, bro.
He did.
He got benched.
But anyway, Yankees are out. We're hurt. I'm done with sports officially. I don't care anymore. The only reason why I'm even watching them and entertaining it is for this podcast and for our listeners. But again, you guys are listening to this almost a week after the Yankees lost, so who cares? Right now, like I said, we have the Braves on top of the Dodgers, and we have the Rays leading the cheating ass Astros. So, guys, we're gonna go around. Who's going to the World Series and who's winning it? Johnny, you go first.
I'm not gonna lie. I had the Dodgers that I want them to go, but the way it's looking is gonna be Braves, Rays, and I got the Braves in 6.
Mm-hmm. DQ.
I'm gonna go with the Braves simply because they're like probably my favorite team's biggest rivals in their division. So it's nice to see them with something finally.
Okay. Drew, you got a take?
I think even though the Braves is like really on top right now, I want to see the Dodgers. If the Dodgers can seem to get, and then my next one, I will see the Rays on the other side. So and I'm picking the Rays to go over the Dodgers if the Dodgers make it. So I'm picking that.
All right, and Kev?
So it's definitely going to be Dodgers, Rays, and the Rays. If they don't sweep, they'll win in 5.
Okay. And so, okay. Oh, wow. Jeez. Woof.
They'll
Nice.
win in 5.
I was not expecting
I
that.
didn't go to sleep, though.
I am rooting for both the Rays and the Astros to contract COVID and have to null and void the American League Championship. So then the Braves and the Dodgers become the World Series, or maybe the Yankees, sneak back in there. Since both teams are eliminated. No, honestly, I could care less for either team to win. I just want this to be the most because I said this in the past. I said this season's going to have an asterisk. It's only 60 season, but I said I would change my mind if the Yankees went on a run and the Yankees were doing well. But then the second the Yankees were, I was going to be fired up about it, and I was going to say it's 28 rings today, bro. And then if the Yankees get eliminated, then it's just going to be a whole other hoax, and I don't care who wins the World Series. So therefore, I want full-fledged underdog hoax nonsense bullshit. I want Braves, and I don't want the Rays to win because fuck that. Let the National League team win it that I could care less about. I don't care about the Braves, so let them win. Cool. So that's the MLB recap. I guess we'll crown a World Series champion at the end of probably 2 weeks we'll crown our champion. We'll probably talk about that.
They play Halloween week. Like the World Series is Halloween week.
Awesome. So great. We will probably not care, and off-season super hard in the MLB, so we will just keep an eye on that. We're going to gloss right over the NBA and go straight to
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No time in his head.
Come on, don't.
What do we?
Hey, come on, let's go, son.
What do you mean?
Get there.
What do you mean?
Brian got his shit.
What are you talking about?
Come on.
Oh, wait.
What Johnny got on?
Okay,
What
wait a
Johnny
minute.
got
Hold on. Okay, I was doing a bit, but hold on. Drew, time out.
Yeah, I'm
Time out. I'm gonna do the Johnny.
Yo, he's remedial, bro.
Time out.
I tell y'all every week. I tell y'all
He's
every
sped,
week.
bro.
Time out. Drew, if I had the option to mute you, I would. Time out. This
He's
is
sped, bro.
okay. I was gonna do a bit and gloss over the NBA final just to poke fun at John.
And we talked about it. You was here.
Okay. And also, Drew, I was trying to help you so you wouldn't have to worry. So we wouldn't talk about your Miami Heat losing. Don't say anything.
With your foggy ass lens, bro.
I was gonna gloss over it to help you. And instead of going with the bit, you are bragging about LeBron getting another ring right now. So instead of all that, obviously, oh god damn it, this guy. I mean, he just fucking ruins everything. What are we doing here? Drew,
I think
Drew just lost visual. We just lost visual on Drew. Hopefully,
I told him his lens was foggy as hell.
It was though. I definitely see.
Yeah, it really was though. My lens was
okay. Are you back? Are you comfortable? So we will talk NBA. And I had some great questions actually lined up. Obviously, LeBron and the Lakers win the NBA championship. That happened like 3 months ago. Nobody cares because it happened on Saturday while there was college football going on. I'm sorry, it happened on Sunday while there was NFL football going on, and then Monday Night Football and the very, very extra rare Tuesday Night Football. So by the time you're listening to this, yeah, the Lakers won like 6 months ago, and who cares? It was in the bubble. It didn't matter. There was no stands. It was really, really funny when like LeBron was like giving a speech, and he like paused. I forgot what he said at the end. He's like, what did he say? He's like, what do you got to say now or something crazy like that? Where he was just,
I want my damn respect too.
Right. So like, and like in normal times, you would expect like a huge like, yeah, like everyone's screaming, like, oh, but it was just super awkward because nothing was going on. I didn't watch the full game. I watched the last 5 minutes because, like I said, NFL football was happening. Even though it was probably the worst week in the NFL this week, easily the worst week in the NFL this week, I still chose to watch football over LeBron winning another ring. But I digress. Drew, your team lost.
Fuck up.
I know my team lost.
And you're happy. Why?
I have a favorite player on the other team, so.
Now, Drew, could you run us?
I'm not sure if you realize, is this really proving my points out we've been saying about Drew's entire time?
DQ actually
does not prove your point at all there. At all, DQ.
Oh boy, what did I start? Okay, I don't want to start this up again.
Definitely.
I was actually going to start this up again. It would have been hilarious. But anyway, we're gonna just move on. So John, go ahead.
You already know.
Go ahead, brag. Glow. Do what you got to do. Okay. All right. Okay. And just for the listeners, John has always been a Lakers fan. He is not a fraud. From the moment I met this kid, he was always a Lakers fan. I think his brother's name is even Kobe. So you can't be more of a not fraud than that.
Is your brother named Kobe? I forgot.
Yeah, my other brother.
So, John, that being said, AD and LeBron are clearly the 1 and 2. Clearly, Batman and Robin. Maybe AD can form into this Batman role on his own, and then eventually, at the tail end of his career, LeBron can start becoming the Robin, if you will. Even though he is one of the greatest players, I think the greatest player our generation has seen, but one of the greatest players to ever play the game. So that being said, John, do you think that this team can? Okay, LeBron has been in 9 out of 10 finals. So can this team go on a dynastic run? And if they do, what do they need to make sure that happens?
Dynastic.
Well, 2, 3 championships. Look, if they win another championship, that's
Get rid of fucking Danny Green.
Nah, Danny Green went off.
Drew, I got one for you too. Don't worry. Or DQ.
How about dynastic
one? Third solidified scorer, like a third, like a legit scorer behind AD and Bron. You need like a third player that can really score. Maybe
I think really
So-
like this.
after one
So,
of
John,
Kuzma,
obviously AD is going to resign.
Mhm.
Is there anyone in the free agency, which is probably the only thing that I really care about? I love NBA free agency. Is there anybody in free agency that you think that'll end up with the Lakers or via trade?
trade.
Like, what do you want, John?
But via free agency, if the Lakers
Throw a name out there.
via free agency, the Lakers need to sign JJ Redick. That is a shooter.
Okay.
That is a shooter.
You free agent this summer? I mean,
He signed a one-year
off-season?
deal. I believe he signed a one-year deal with the Pelicans, so he should be a free agent. I could be wrong, but I think he signed a one-year deal with the Pelicans, so he should be a free agent. I don't know if he'll go to the Lakers, but the Lakers should try to holler at him, see what's up.
Get him on.
Shooter.
Kyle
Okay,
Korver.
Drew, before you literally fraudulently disrespected your
Alright.
team, watching that
tell me
game.
Is that the end?
Yep,
The
it's
game
over. So again, those of you listening to the audio and not watching the visual, Kevin just pulled up the fantasy score of this week, and Drew just lost. So Drew, you're on the hot seat again. You move on, get over it, and move on. You lost in probably the lowest scoring game of the week.
I know.
Move on,
On a season, bro.
Drew. You as a Miami Heat fan, what did you see? What did you
don't do
see
that.
go wrong in the series, and what do you think is the future of Miami?
Ain't
The
nothing went
future
wrong. They
Miami, the
was going
future
to
Miami
lose.
is bright. What actually went wrong is we really don't have somebody for AD. Like that is the and in Game 5, I say Jimmy Butler was gassed from the magnificent performance he laid down in Game 5. Game 6, it didn't translate. Like he was like you can see his body language. He was gassed out through the whole game. And through like the whole series, we just don't have nobody for Anthony Davis. Is really like that's kind of problematic. Even like throughout the whole playoffs, like everybody for the Lakers team didn't have nobody for Anthony Davis.
Mhm.
That was through the whole playoff in the West. And the Heat going forward, they can definitely even if they get a couple more pieces, they can definitely make a run being in multiple
Drew,
finals.
So throw out some names, Drew.
I got a quick question for you.
Okay, go, John.
You rather the Heat make a trade for a star, trade the young talent, or you rather?
I don't. Nah, no trades. I would rather pick up somebody in free agency. Give me
So
somebody.
throw out a name.
Give me, this. I'm thinking like I don't know if he would actually do it. I'm just thinking big, like like a Giannis. That would be. I'm thinking big like that, or Bradley Beal.
So, but Giannis would have to get acquired by a trade, right?
No, free agency. Not free agency. He doesn't have to do a trade. Or I'm thinking of a Bradley Beal. A Bradley Beal during like
So Drew, I'm gonna give you a list of the upcoming free agents. Okay, so we got Anthony Davis has an option, right? We got
Which he'll probably stay with the Lakers.
Caldwell
He's
Pope.
gonna stay with the Lakers.
You got Trevor Ariza. You got Rajon Rondo, DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, Mike Conley, Andre Drummond, Jeremy Grant. Kawhi Leonard has an option. Fox, Joe Harris, Andre Iguodala has an option. Blake Griffin, Giannis has an option. Evan Fournier,
You know where Rondo's going, right?
What?
Back to Boston.
Gordon Hayward, Victor Oladipo.
Absolutely nowhere.
Paul George has an option. Derrick Rose, Otto Porter Jr., plus many others.
Uh-huh.
Derrick Rose is coming to New York after they sign Oladipo. About to be lit in New York.
Just stop putting that in the air. I don't want to get my hopes up.
Joe Harris is a good pickup. I would say Joe Harris from Brooklyn Nets. I don't know if he would sign, but
To me, Joe Harris, me personally, that would be a waste of a sign because you have the hero and the freaking Robinson.
Hey.
So it'd be like a waste of a spot.
You heard?
I would say like add shooters to it. I'm not. I know we have Duncan Robinson, and Duncan Robinson is really like a spot up. It's like Joe Harris can do more with the ball. on the floor than Duncan Robinson. I look at Duncan Robinson as a spotter. Tyler Hero can. What you say, John?
Joe Harrison's not gonna leave Brooklyn.
Yeah, why would you? You're getting KD and Kyrie back.
I don't know if he's going to leave Brooklyn. Like that is a big.
Wait. A good option for Miami that's an unrestricted free agent and he can shoot the ball and he will fit the Miami Heat system is Gallo, Danilo Gallinari. That'll be a good.
Oh yeah, Gallo. Yeah, he is available
for Miami.
What do you think of that, Drew? He's deep in thought now.
Gallo consistency. I like his consistency of Gallo. I do.
Okay.
I do.
So Kevin and I obviously aren't well versed in basketball. So DQ, this question goes to you. What do you think is gonna what moves do you think are gonna be made? Like your early bold predictions to shake up the NBA. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of teams in the West that are gonna try to gear up to take out the Lakers. And then obviously, I think people are starting to see chinks in the armor with the Milwaukee Bucks. And obviously, they could see that, maybe do they join Jimmy Butler in Miami or do they join up with KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn? So what do you think needs to be done?
Pretty much like the Western Conference, like it may be shaking up a little bit. I feel like some players will be
shake up
based on not their success they had in the Western Conference, like players like LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, even like other players like Andre Drummond. Even though Andre Drummond, I feel like he will stay in Cleveland because the big man is kind of like a solid big man like this blocking and rebounding and shooting is kind of dying out. He can't really expand the floor, but those players like those stretch players like Trevor Ariza, DeMar DeRozan, like those kind of players are going to look for better teams to play for during the next season because of the current situation the team they're on. Each player I'm kind of mentioning either lost a coach or they're about to get in a different situation, or just that entire process of them trying to find a better team to play for is going to have to change eventually because Trevor Ariza was on the Rockets past season, right? Or was he on the Blazers? He was on both teams.
Blazers. He just didn't play in the bubble.
Oh, yeah. So I feel like Trev might try to find the team to play for. Mike Conley is a great point guard for him to pick up. I feel like DeMar DeRozan is definitely not. I feel DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge will be Spurs next season.
On the Spurs.
Yeah,
so you think the Spurs will make the comeback?
So Oladipo's not coming to the Knicks?
It just depends. There's so many there's so many players with options in free agency, but also unrestricted free agents. That's the way I can see certain teams being able to pick up a good player, but not gonna be it's not gonna be any superstar caliber moves made pretty much. It's gonna be additions, but not anything that's gonna be wow you I'm surprised he went here or that person went here, but it's just gonna be an addition to a team that may or may not succeed for that particular team.
Uh-huh. All right, well that's the NBA, right? John, you want to glow one more time, John? You wanna do a little dance or something? You got anything else to say? Drew, you're upset, but you're not that upset, right?
I am upset. Miami, I am definitely upset, but
okay, moving on. Great. So we are. I couldn't even do it. Okay, and now it is time for our least favorite subject, but everyone's favorite subject.
NFL?
The NFL recap, and I'll just go over the top two stories. I think the only two stories that are worth even mentioning.
The Jets is on fire. Giants is on fire. That's the top two stories. Fuck everybody else.
No, top two stories.
That's breaking news.
Top two stories are Dak Prescott's injury.
Fucking fools to find nigga Dak.
Again, that was a really, really gruesome injury. It was really nasty if you guys saw it.
Yeah.
I know you guys are Giants fans, and I know you, but we've been rooting for Dak on this podcast. I'm pretty sure DQ more than all of us, but I think we all want him to get his bag. I think we all think he's a great quarterback. We were all very upset in the group chat talking about the injury and how upset we were with the Cowboys for not paying Dak. But I guess the bright side of it is if you saw Alex Smith go out there, who pretty much almost got his leg, he almost died. He almost died, and he went out there and then got sacked by a 280-pound, just pure muscle Aaron Donald, standing mind you, he was standing on the leg that was surgically repaired. So if Alex Smith can come back from that, would hope that Dak can come back from this ankle. And I really hope that Dak doesn't sign with the Cowboys anymore. I really want him to just go to another team now, a team that will appreciate him, a team that will pay him the money that I think that he deserves. Because Dak was playing hardcore like he was in a contract year, trying to prove that he was worth the money that he was asking for, I think. Obviously, the Cowboys' defense isn't good enough to help him win games. But I think, the guy threw 500 yards and 5 touchdowns and still lost. And again, that's credit to the defense, not showing up to him.
Get paid.
I really feel like bro was sabotaged.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid by another team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I think the Cowboys pay him. Well,
I don't know what Jerry.
Like I really feel like Jerry Jones sabotaged Dak on purpose because first you put him in a situation where he has to play for a contract he already well deserves. And on top of that, it's not like you have him surrounded by a lineman that can actually help him actually prove his case that he should be already deserving of the money he already deserves.
Kind of facts.
Yeah, so his line's fine. Yeah, exactly. And he just had a couple of guys go down. But, the biggest issue with Dallas right now, I think we can all agree, their offense is pretty much lights out. There's pretty much no stopping that offense. In all retrospect, there's you could see little plays here and there where you can't stop them. Obviously, every defense has their day. It's not like they're going to go up and down the field every single day and score. Every single drive and score points. But I think Dallas's defense has kept them out of games too often, to where the offense had to overshow. So yeah, it's really really sad for Dak, and we'll get to the game that happened. Also, shout out Tony Romo, who's known every injury ever. While he was commenting that game, I think he said, "Oh, I hope it's a cramp." And dude, the guy's ankle is literally his bones sticking out.
That was before Romo got the close up.
Of course, I get it. But I remember watching it live, and I was like, "What do you mean cramp?" I saw it quick, and I was like, "His bone is literally pointing the other way."
No, once I see it, I was like, "Oh, it's over, it's over."
Yeah. And I think
John this man just broke his ankles.
Yeah, and I think we saw Gordon Hayward tweet out to Dak. Everybody tweeted out to Dak, obviously, but I'm going to focus more on the Gordon Hayward thing because he had a similar you saw where Dak was kind of pulling his leg and trying to look at him. Gordon did the same thing. I think that was the grossest ankle break I've ever seen. Gordon Hayward's obviously not Dak's. And then I guess second top story, you guys kind of jumped the gun on that a little bit. But yeah, Le'Veon Bell has just been released from the New York Jets. Again, today is Tuesday. You're listening to this on Thursday. The Jets play Miami on Sunday, and hopefully we leave Adam Gase there. Honestly, happy for Le'Veon Bell. I think I want everybody to get away from them. We were watching this Tennessee Buffalo Bills game. I'm sitting here watching Ryan Tannehill, who escaped Adam Gase's clutches and looks like a rock star. I'm watching Devontae Parker look like a rock star. I'm watching Kenyon Drake looking like a rock star. Everybody and anybody who played for Adam Gase, once they left Adam Gase's system, they obviously outperformed with their expectation. So I'm hoping the same thing for the Jets when we finally get rid of him. Or, whatever. We'll just keep him for the next 5 years because he's an offensive genius.
He made $27 million, and he only plays.
Yeah. And I know a lot of you were thinking, classic Jets move. We release him, and it's like you should have traded him. Okay, you would I'm sorry, guys, but there's a cap in the NFL, and Le'Veon Bell, again, deserved the money at the time, but obviously not in the system that he's in currently. And I think Le'Veon's going to light it up wherever the hell he goes, wherever that might be. Johnny thinks it's going to be the Patriots. I really hope it's goes to a team like Carolina, or the Chargers, or a team that kind of needs a running back at this point, with the injuries.
It's going to be Le'Veon, Cam, and the evil genius.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, John.
You said Carolina, bro?
Yeah, well, with McCaffrey out for the next 3 weeks. McCaffrey's out for the next 3 weeks, so it's just a Band-Aid. But imagine both of them full-fledged.
Have you not seen Mike Brown going off? He's not going to Carolina, bro.
Again, I'd rather see him go to a team that doesn't have 88 running backs like the New England Patriots. Or if he decides to go to the Patriots, it's fine, whatever. I don't care at this point. I'm losing out the whole season. Yeah, happy for Le'Veon. I'm happy he's out of there. And again, those people that think that we should have traded Le'Veon Bell before we released him, again, he is highly, highly, highly overpaid. No team was going to swallow up that contract. The Jets weren't going to pay half of that contract either. This is just how business and negotiation works. This is probably the best bet for them. Hopefully Le'Veon cooks wherever he goes. Hopefully Sam cooks wherever he goes. And then just one point before we get into the games that we're going to break down. I told you guys that I was going to keep a close eye on Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool, 4 touchdowns. The Jets drafted out of that position when we were perfectly lined up to get him. We ended up getting Denzel Mims, who has not touched the field just yet. Okay, Thursday Night Football, we had the Buccaneers and the Bears. And John,
Bears.
what happened?
Oh, you win some, you lose some.
Brady forgot what down it was. That was awesome. Bears win by 1. I don't think there's a reason to talk about the Bengals and the Ravens. That was a blowout. There was nothing really, really exciting in that game. Then we had the Dolphins and the 49ers. Is Fitzpatrick just going to be the quarterback for the rest of the year, guys? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, no Tua? You're not going to see any Tua?
Yeah.
No, they didn't want to play Tua. This is their best case scenario unfolding in front of their eyes, bro. We're gonna see Ryan until maybe they're not in contention to make the playoffs. Then last 4 or 5 games, we might see Tua. We might. Just so he can get used to like the game, speed and stuff like that.
Look,
That's a fact. Quote me.
I like it this
Go
way.
ahead, John.
Tua gets to soak up knowledge and chill. He doesn't get thrown into the fire. Let him ease his way. Pat Mahomes didn't play his first year neither.
Yeah, look how he turned out.
I didn't play his first year neither.
Perfect segue, John. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, they lose in Arrowhead to the Raiders, and what I've been hearing is the blueprint game. And now there's a lot of people saying that, Bill Belichick actually had the blueprint but didn't have the weapons to do it because he didn't have Cam. So John Gruden used Belichick's method, which is just run the football. Just run it, and then occasionally come off the play action rollout. Derek Carr looked like a stud. Raiders beat the Chiefs 40-32. DQ, do you think the Chiefs have finally been dethroned now that they've lost this game, or is this just like a fluke?
I want to say it's a fluke, but I guess someone finally put together their strengths versus their weaknesses and put together to make a win pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, what we watched was a divisional game. Any of us know, especially any given Sunday, any team can win, but any given Sunday when there's a divisional matchup, it's always a toss-up of what teams can win, especially if it's the 2 best teams in that division playing. And I'm happy for Gruden, man. I didn't want to talk about does he still got it and all of this. Like they balled out and they got it.
Yeah. He can coach football. That's definitely
what if you're with me.
And, speaking of divisional games, we saw the Panthers beat the Falcons. Again, Panthers are on a run right now, and the most important part of that is that Dan Quinn has finally been let go. This is our second coach fired. Fingers crossed for Adam Gase this week. But, obviously the Falcons didn't blow it this time. They just found a way that what I saw was a 38-yard run by Todd Gurley for a touchdown, and then them just go completely away from the run. I thought that was really, really smart that they just decided that, hey, we have all these great wide receivers in Gage and Ridley and Julio. We should just throw the ball. Similar to what they did in the Super Bowl when they had a pretty good running game in Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman while they were up and decided to throw the ball instead of running the ball when they could have just ran clock. So the Falcons are the Falcons. Like I said, this was a really, 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 really boring week in football. Wasn't a lot of good games. Obviously, Cardinals, Jets, we don't need to talk about that. DeAndre Hopkins had one of the best catches I think I've seen all year. Cowboys, Giants, we briefly touched on it. Giants looked good for a little bit again.
But the Giants defense has surprised me this whole season. I thought
right that the pick six I'm not going to give you. That was a tip. So you can have every other You can look, and again, I've talked about the Dallas defense, similar to the Seahawks defense, and I want to get back to I want to get to the Seahawks at some point today too. Yeah, it's just not a good defense. But yeah, John, defense has been playing well. Offense has kept you in games for the most part. But it's those turnovers constantly from your quarterback. Do you think he's like? Do you think he's aware? Like, do you think like he just like wants to try to make a play? Like again, like I make the same excuse for Darnold, where I'm like, I think he wants to make a play, but it's like there's times when I watch Jones and I go, what is he doing out there?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes he gets caught up in the moment trying to make a play, but it's like certain times like I know we've been dissing the line for years. The line showed some progression, but the line's not all the way, there consistently. Get rid of the ball. Like you just gotta, and when you get rid of it, don't throw it into traffic. Throw it where you can get it.
Yeah, word. Yo, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest.
1 second.
Nah. I'm gonna be honest. It was disappointing to see them not be able to go down the field on that last drive, but it is what it is, man. Mm-hmm. We got some more divisional games coming up, and we're in the ring and we can box, bro. They just gotta figure out a way to close games.
All right, next game we got Jaguars and Texans. Texans finally win their first game. Romeo Crennel, interim head coach, wins his first game. Deshaun Watson looked good, but I mean, let's face facts. They played the Jaguars. Is that cool? Can we just say that they played the Jaguars and that's how they got their first win? Or Drew, since you've been gone for a little bit, did you see anything out of Deshaun Watson or the Houston Texans as a whole, defensively, offensively, that maybe they could be turning the ship around?
They can turn the ship around by number one, by coaching. That is what they need. As for the players, they got the pieces to do it. It's just the coaching needs to be right. That's all I really got to say about that. Really. Yeah. The coaching just needs to be right for them.
Yep. Okay, cool. The only other two important games that I want to touch on, obviously, Rams beat the shit out of the Washington football team. Who cares? We just watched this Tennessee Bills game. I thought this was probably the best, we don't know what these teams were matched, what they were going to be. I think Tennessee's for real. I think Tennessee's got a good shot of making a playoff run again. I think they have a good shot of winning that division. They are currently now 4-1. And Derrick Henry bullied, was it Ronald Darby, Johnny, that he tossed?
Yeah, definitely win that.
Yeah, it was Ronald Darby. I don't know. Whatever. Titans are really, really good. Saints beat the Chargers. Chargers, actually, I had a really interesting stat about them, too. Hang on. I got that right here. Give me a second. Come on. So Chargers lost by 3 points in overtime to Kansas City, lost by 5 points to Carolina, lost by 7 points to Tampa Bay, and then lost by 3 points in overtime to the New Orleans Saints. I think at some point it's got to turn around. I think Justin Herbert's going to be pretty good in this league. I think he should be thanking that doctor that almost killed Tyrod Taylor. But hopefully Tyrod's going to be okay. I feel bad for Tyrod. I really hope he gets a starting job somewhere else. And then Seahawks, Vikings. Seahawks defense is bad, guys. I think it's really, really bad. I think even with Jamal Adams, without Jamal, they're really, really bad. They give him too many points.
I said that shit last week.
So, and again, that's why I had them ranked pretty low on that list. And Kev, you had them a little higher last week. So I know
because of Russ.
Right, of course, because of Russ. But I mean, that defense is pretty bad. So, John, do you think actually, DQ, do you think that this team, with the defense as bad as it is, again, all you really need to understand is that the defense is really, really bad here. Do you think that they can actually make a playoff run? I mean, you can't have a defense with that many holes in it and think that you're going to make a deep run into the – okay, this team is considered a Super Bowl favorite.
Unless they, let's say this pickup though, those mistakes they're making early during the season, I can see them making a playoff run. But it's because I guess when it comes to a team sport like football, since the season only 16 games, you have to be on your P's and Q's about small mistakes and little things you're doing on the field, so that when it comes to the end of the season, you end up being where you want to be.
Yeah. Anybody got any other takes on the Seahawks? Because I can't. Outside of Russell Wilson and the offense.
I think
is this team an NFC favorite? That's John, do you think so? Everyone, I want to know.
Yeah,
I would say so. Yes.
You think they're an NFC Super Bowl favorite?
yeah, they'll figure it out.
Russell Wilson's playing. Russell Wilson won the MVP.
Mm.
That team is
That defense will figure it out.
I think they have to score at least 30 points every fucking game. I think they might get knocked out in the first round depending on who they play. All right, well, that's the NFL. The only other game I think I didn't mention, obviously I didn't mention the Cardinals Jets because they always find ways.
If you're talking about wild card first round, they're not getting knocked out because you know who they're gonna play in the first round.
Yeah, they're gonna play some bullshit.
They're
NFC.
They're gonna play the Saints in the first round.
Oh, you think so? Yeah. Okay.
And if we're talking shitty defenses and the way that Drew's been
well,
playing,
the Saints are cursed. Let's just be real.
Seahawks is winning that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. I think I'm almost ready to throw out the fraud word towards the Seahawks. I'm keeping an eye on them this week. And then again, the only other game I didn't mention, Jets Cardinals. Obviously, Jets find better ways to lose games every week. And then the Colts and the Browns. That was a pretty good game up until it got a little out of hand. Browns are really good. I think it's the first time they started 4-1 in over 30 years or so. We'll see. I'm not hitting this team is real. They do still have the Ravens and they do still have the Steelers in that division. So we will see. And the Steelers are back again. Yeah, I mentioned Chase Claypool at the top. I didn't say that. Yeah.
I want to see
that's the NFL recap. Unless you guys have anything else.
I want to see Cleveland be the real team.
Dak, when I broke his ankle, he was wearing Nikes.
DQ with the sneakerhead take. John, any last takes?
I thought we go with the football.
Kev?
Nah, I think we good.
And Drew?
Cleveland can be fraud because they haven't beat a real team yet. Like, all the teams they beat was sub 500. They got drubbed by the Ravens, and that's I think a playoff team, the only playoff team they faced yet.
I would not sleep on the Colts. They do have the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL currently. Believe it or not, really, really fun stat. Okay, you guys ready to move on to bag it or trash it? Okay, our first subject on bag it or trash it. Obviously, you guys are not new to this. If you are new to this podcast, bag it or trash it means we're going to throw out some ideas here, some questions. If you like it and you agree with it, you're going to bag it. And if you think it's stupid, what are you going to do, guys?
Trash it.
Trash it. Of course you're going to trash it. Okay, so the first one up is, should the bubble championship have an asterisk? So should Johnny's Lakers, I should rephrase that. So Johnny's Lakers have an asterisk. John, I'm going to go to you last. Drew, what do you think?
Trash it. Nah, because it's a real NBA championship. Did the game change at all? No, it did not. The only thing that changed was the setting. Like it was still playoff basketball. Like it was nothing changed about this game. Like it was just it was in a bubble. But like most people put on it that they did not travel and you did not get the crowd feel. But like,
well, what's the old saying, Drew? A series doesn't start until the home team loses to the road team. Isn't that what it is? That's the old saying, right? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, but I mean, you playing devil's advocate, but I mean, I can kind of see your point, but throughout the whole thing, everybody was playing the hardest in the playoffs. It's not like the cream rose to the top. Like, it should not be this championship should be like less than all the others because it's still like everybody is playing like, and it's the same level everybody's playing at. They ain't like nobody got any like advantages over everybody. Like it's still playoff basketball. I'm definitely gonna trash this because
they did play a little extra games too because they did have the like preseason warm up when the bubble started. So one could argue that they played a little bit more games with a little bit of a break in between, obviously due to COVID. DQ, does the Lakers championship have a asterisk for being in the bubble?
No, it does not, because at the end of the season, the Lakers were going to win the championship anyway.
So trash it?
Oh, yeah, pretty much trash it. So anything, what the bubble proved is okay. Proved that LeBron can literally win in the Western Conference, like they said he couldn't.
Right.
2, Eastern Conference is still shitty because all the teams that said going to the finals didn't. 3, Clippers really ain't shit. And 4, like LeBron is really, really GOAT material. Like, dude, is the truth. And AD is like him. I feel like LeBron and AD complement each other so well. It's not even fucking funny.
Yeah.
From all the players that LeBron's played with, like AD is just that one piece he's always needed because
so
he can spread the floor.
It's not.
No, you can, Drew. I'll defend him because you can argue that the first year with Wade, Wade was Batman and LeBron was Robin, and then you can argue that because Dwayne was playing out of his mind. But then obviously towards the tail end there, you could see that Dwayne was, he was getting a little older. He was kind of out of it. And LeBron kind of, again, it was Wade's team to begin with. So LeBron was just going to let Wade have his team. And I think after a while, Wade kind of like handed the reins over to him. But at this point, it's because Wade just didn't have it anymore. I think AD is a lot younger than Wade was at the time. And I think he's a little bit more athletic. I mean, he's a center who can shoot threes. And, I'm not trying to disrespect Kyrie or Wade in this situation, but arguably, I would say that AD is the best.
AD's skill set pretty much from him growing up, being a point guard from a kid to high school to having this huge growth spurt where he got to like 6'9", 6'10", to how he's playing now. It's just that like not only can AD spread the floor, he can block shots, he can rebound, he can pass. He can, that combination with LeBron being able to do all the other stuff, spread the floor, is what made them so dangerous.
Right.
You know what I really think about it? I get everything you're saying. Like, AD is the better player. I would say probably more than Dwayne Wade. You know what I really take this from is the intangibles. Like, I really like Dwayne Wade kind of like
big word for you, buddy.
It's kind of like it's like a big brother feel. Like he showed this guy how to win. Like before LeBron James like really like showed you all his powers. Like Dwayne Wade showed him the way. Like I say, Dwayne Wade did what Dwayne Wade did for LeBron what LeBron is doing for AD. Like,
that's not true.
That's a really good point.
True.
That's a really good point.
LeBron was winning. LeBron was winning games before D Wade. He just seen another piece.
No, I'm not saying.
Okay. All right. Okay. We agree to disagree. John, you're coming up next. Don't worry.
I didn't hear what DQ said. DQ said what you just said again. I didn't hear you.
I was saying that LeBron clearly knew how to win. Like he just didn't have those pieces around him to support him in other times where he can't carry an entire 50-man roster by himself.
LeBron did carry 3 teams
if you look at the
did
team
not belong in the playoffs.
Look at the 06 team that Wade had.
017.
Look at LeBron's 017 that he had. And he took a team of scrubs by himself to the finals. Wade had Shaq,
I agree with 07.
A bunch of old veterans. So LeBron knew how to win. Other pieces around him make that puzzle complete.
Shaq averaged like 10 points per game in that finals.
Who? Oh, you talking about
like 10 points
Diesel, Shaq Diesel.
Yeah, but they was like 36 that series. But at the same time, though in general, those pieces he had around him, he had old veterans. He had players with experience. Like LeBron had a team of scrubs on his teams.
But
that's a really good point.
I know every championship team he's been on, a team of scrubs around him.
Literally took him under the wing. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't wait till next year when LeBron switched number 6 and AD get 23. That's gonna be so lit because they're gonna be so locked in.
I agree with you.
So DQ, just to reiterate the point and kind of just so you guys agree to disagree, because John, I understand where you're going with it. Just to agree to disagree. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just I'm gonna talk about LeBron's speech. Did anybody catch the part where see how we're talking about Wade and everything LeBron was talking about? He talked about Wade, how Wade helped him then. He skipped his second stint in Cleveland and he went straight to AD. I want to say, see how he threw.
Yeah, because he got beef.
Threw a subtle shot.
Like he's throwing. Yeah, LeBron obviously.
I did.
Like
Honestly, I did not even catch that.
There's a lot of fake LeBron hate on my side. I'm just like, I just, again, LeBron unfortunately has grown up in an era where social media is much, much bigger now. Obviously, MJ didn't have to deal with this. A lot of the athletes in the past have never had to deal with this. But LeBron is just like set in this limelight where just like SportsCenter and like ESPN and all these other places, they like on this day, LeBron is the only player to score 57 points and have 2 blocks and sneeze on a rainy day when it was 50 degrees outside.
I kind of agree with you.
My hate for LeBron is not like based off of like who I think he is as a person, or who I think he is as a player. My hate for him is that like he's like such a fucking boring guy. It's just like either you want to be loved and beloved, or you want to be the villain when you went to Miami and like try to like use the villain persona, and then he just went back to being a good guy. He's just a boring dude to me. Whatever, it's fine. I understand. Like he's much more successful than I'll ever be, and I'm never going to take that away from him. He totally deserves all the praise that he gets. I just think that it's a little bit too much. But anyway, we're not on LeBron. We're going to get to LeBron. We can talk about LeBron later. Stop sucking him. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I don't like him. Kevin, should the Lakers have an asterisk on their bubble championship? Because we got sidetracked.
The Lakers? I thought...
Well, yeah, they won. I mean, it's the bubble champion.
It was basically...
So, no, definitely not. And since the question is, should the champion regardless, I think the whole bubble should not have an asterisk on it, and neither should the championship, because either way, they had to grind and fight their way through, even though some people are saying right now that they had the easiest route there. But at the end of the day, I just feel like, bro, what we watched was good basketball from start to finish. Mm-hmm. Everybody balled out. Only person I really feel bad for is Book. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, John, I was going to go to you last on purpose, but you know the question.
So trashing means it shouldn't be, and bagging it means it should be asterisk, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm gonna trash it because.
Is it because the Lakers won?
I guess so.
John. Okay. John, your question is gonna be a little different. If Miami would have won, would it have been an asterisk? Yes.
All right. No.
Okay.
My honest opinion. No one expected that. For like the favorites, when it comes to favorites, they have the fans and the haters, so the haters is gonna gravitate to the favorites. Like, oh nah, it's asterisk, it ain't thing. Whoever would have won, that was the favorite. If the Clippers would have won and Kawhi would have won Finals MVP, there would be people saying that about Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying I agree with it. At the end of the day, the bubble was tough, but it also had features that made it not as difficult. No home crowd. Like there was not really a home court advantage. It was really neutral, but a lot of teams strive on that home court advantage. So that would change like the element of it. But I wouldn't say
right. So yeah, like again, I threw a little devil's advocate at Drew with the whole, it's not a series until the home team loses or the road team wins away, or the road team wins a game. Obviously, there is not that atmosphere. In my opinion, I felt like the finals were over once the LA team was knocked out, or one of the LA teams were knocked out. So in this case, it was the Clippers. And once Milwaukee was knocked out, I think at that point, I pretty much just gave it to the Lakers, and we all knew they were going to win. I was bullshitting on this podcast saying that I hoped that they would lose, but I think we all knew the truth there. And why I don't think that there should be an asterisk is because the players agreed to this, man. Like, I mean, it's just like that's it. That's the end of it. It's like there's a MLB, there's always a players association in every league. The players agreed to this format, and like I said before, they played a couple extra games here and there when they had that bubble like get in playoff and the bubble warm up, and then obviously the extended playoff. But yeah, no, Lakers, you deserve it. I guess nobody said it yet, but I guess they did it for Kobe. Sure.
They did.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah, that notice of LeBron dropped 28.
I was gonna yell it out. They definitely.
Yeah. So, maybe we'll do that in the intro. Anyway, now that you guys wanted to skip ahead and talk about fucking LeBron, here's the question: is LeBron James, the clear cut, 100%, the GOAT of the NBA. Kev, I'm going to you first because I think I know where you're going.
The NBA win currently? Are we talking
No.
all time?
Clear cut, all time, greatest of all time. All time greatest of all time.
I think there's an obvious answer here, but just for a little build up for the people that are not watching. Are you stupid? Are you dumb?
Mm-hmm.
He could be number 3 on my list.
Number 2.
But it's obviously MJ. You're not about to disrespect Kobe. Y'all hype, right? Lakers won. Shut the fuck up. And LeBron could be 3rd. That's it.
Okay. All right. Don't interrupt, Drew. Now you're going last. DQ. Is LeBron the clear-cut greatest of all time? Period. Honest.
Absolutely.
So you're bagging it.
No,
okay, he's bagging it. Ooh, here we go.
Know that Mike set that bar. Kobe is after that, right? But based on, if you want to put numbers into perspective, LeBron is just that guy when it comes to numbers. He's played the most playoff games. He may not have the most championships in those playoffs.
That's the only thing that matters. What the fuck are you in the playoffs for?
Mike went to the has 6 rings, right? And 6 tries, right? But he didn't go to the finals 10 times. So
that's a really good point. I don't think enough people talk about that, DQ. That's a really good point.
Going to the finals 10 times to always beat having 6 championships and 6 tries in a 2-year gap between those 2 tries. I'm just saying. And Kobe, even though as growing up, I didn't really have an appreciation for Kobe as I should have. Like Kobe was just more like Kobe's an amazing player, but it's game wise, it's more close to Mike. It's almost exact like Mike's. But the problem is Kobe has the points, but as an overall player success wise, still he's not on LeBron's level in that facet because LeBron does every fucking thing. LeBron's the type of player so you put in perspective, you're playing on a team. You may not be the best player on the team, but when you're playing with LeBron, you're going to get your touches. You're going to feel involved in that team. Like, LeBron is not a selfish dude, which is why people complain, he doesn't have that killer instinct, yet the guy has the most game-winning shots in the playoffs of all time.
Buzzer beaters.
I said that last week. All I'm going to
say is I feel where DQ is coming from, but that's like saying Drew Brees is the greatest of all time because he has the numbers.
That's a fact.
What are we talking about?
You know how when in baseball, how they say the Yankees are the best franchise having 27 rings?
28.
Right? Compared to another team that may not have 27 rings. But when the MLB first started, it was only 6 fucking teams.
Yeah, that's a really good point. No, yeah. And listen, I'm not a big 27 rings, bro. I mean, realistically, I think
2020, Yankees won 5 titles. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Derek Jeter. I'm not talking about those other.
But in this group, I think I can only speak for myself. The championships that I got to fully enjoy as a Yankee fan, and these are the only championships that I count. I don't count 96. I was 6 years old, bro. Kev was 4, so he can't count that either. And I don't think John can, and I don't think Durant can. I don't think any Yankee fan that was born in 1990 can. So the only years that I count is 98, 2000, 2009. My kid brother was raised by my dad as a front runner. So my kid brother, who is a Boston Red Sox fan, has seen more championships than New York Yankees. So I never beat my drum on 27 rings. I don't.
Well, you missed the championships. Remember, Jeter got 5. You named 3.
I named 3 that I witnessed.
You named 3.
That I remember and I watched. 98,
personally,
2000,
2000,
and 2009. We didn't win in 03. We lost to the Red Sox.
Do I know? Do I aware of
Yankees won in 99?
Oh, they did win in 99.
They did win in 99. Okay, I revert back. 98, 99, 2000, 09. That's it. That's it. Those are the only ones they claim.
4 titles.
It's not enough.
Well, nigga,
I haven't seen one in 11 years. 11 years.
And the facet, like, numbers wise, like, numbers do matter. Like, only time numbers don't matter, literally when it comes to rings, because rings is a situational. Like,
what are they playing for though?
That's not what I'm saying. Rings is a situational event. Like, yes, you can have 6 rings and six tries. Have a 2-year break between that, but if before those 6 rings, you were getting knocked out in the first round every year.
So, DQ, I'm gonna try to help you out a little bit here to kind of agree with you and to also kind of agree with Kev. Yeah, what he's saying is true. Jordan didn't get to the final, and he was like he said, he couldn't get past the first round. It took him forever to finally get there. Now, here's the difference. Once Jordan finally got there, he did his 6 appearances, 6 championships. In LeBron's case, like I said, I mean, I pulled it up last week as well. He's in there. He's been in the final 9 out of 10 times, and he's got 4 rings to show for it. But at least he makes it to the final. What DQ's argument is that, well, Jordan, before he had Pippen, before he had Rodman, before he had Kerr, before he had all these guys, he wasn't even getting them. And LeBron took a garbage team, or what he mentioned in 07, to the final. Obviously did lose, but this is a team that had nobody with him, and he led them there. Obviously ended up losing it, but that's the thing, is that, like, he's kind of put every team that he's been on his back. And another interesting thing to think about too is that look at the teams that LeBron played for. He played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Once he left that organization, it became a terrible organization, bidding for the #1 draft pick. Goes to Miami, wins them a championship, leaves Miami. They become a terrible organization, are bidding for the first-round draft pick. Then goes back to Cleveland, leaves Cleveland, and now they're one of the worst teams in basketball. So that being said, John, you're next.
The quick thing on the Miami thing. Chris Bosh got a career-ending.
Chris Bosh, yeah.
That's true too, but again, like, you just follow the trend of LeBron. Where he goes, like the point that DQ is trying to make is where LeBron goes, success comes with it. And when he leaves, it doesn't really go that well for
whether Bosh would stay healthy. He would have been the Toronto Raptors, and that's the case, because LeBron made that team what they were. Like, no matter what,
he was a game away from going to the conference finals without LeBron. Whiteside and Bosh is injured.
That's the point. Like, I'm saying,
the
like,
conference finals when?
Even he don't remember that. Since go on, like, really? That's my point.
All right. So, John, is LeBron the clear-cut GOAT?
Great player. Listen, great player. When it's all said and done, I won't say clear cut, but maybe he'll put more to his resume where it could be more lopsided in his way.
Yeah, maybe he'll get 6 rings and go to 15 championships.
I'm gonna have to trash it, but he's a great player. Not saying no, he's a great player. He's not the clear cut GOAT. He's not. Bron's great.
Okay, Drew.
I'm Michael Jordan. I'm gonna trash it, but only because I say Michael Jordan. Why can't?
I'm sorry. Well, because I asked a question and your answer was, bag of the trash it. Michael Jordan.
I said trash it.
You said Michael Jordan first.
I'm Michael Jordan.
I said Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is.
You said Michael Jordan before you said anything else. It was just really, really funny to me. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
How am I supposed to answer that question? All right. I'm gonna say trash because Michael Jordan is better. I put LeBron as my number 2, but LeBron is a great, like, this whole GOAT conversation. I really, like, kind of hate it because it basically props up one guy and, like, mostly shits on. I don't want to say shit on people.
No, you have to. It's almost like an election where you have to. Well, DNC or an RNC, where you bury the guys that you're running with, but then at the end of the day, you're like, hey, you want to be my running mate? Yeah.
It's like this. So you have to, like, I'm trying to say you don't have to sit on the next player. All you do is take the strengths from one, take the strengths from the other, and be like, all right, this one's better at this strength.
I
And
mean,
I'm saying the other one's whack. It's just that one happens to be better at that. Doesn't mean he's whack. It's not bringing the other player down. Just take their strength and go strength for strength instead of nitpicking their weaknesses. Like, oh, Braun,
we
nitpicks.
We can do that, but as a whole, everybody doesn't think that way, John. I'm saying you can think that way.
We can just go straight.
Yeah, like I know when I see greats, like Kobe is a great, LeBron's a great, Michael. I appreciate them all. Like I can do that. Like I'm not gonna say like because LeBron is my favorite, I'm gonna put him over Kobe because I'm gonna put him over Mike because I know what Mike did. But I also appreciate him, like he's a definite great in my eyes too. Like they all greats. Like when it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're all great players. But at the end of the day, LeBron's still playing, so he could still stack his resume up. He could. So he's still playing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, my turn. I'm also going to trash it. I think he's currently the best player that we've seen in our generation of watching. I think that he has too many people that will always argue it. And I don't, while I agree with DQ on the sense that, yeah, Jordan couldn't even make it past the first round until he got his super team around him. LeBron formed super teams to get where he wanted, to get his goal. And again, I understand that it was a different time in the NBA back then, and it's a different time in the NBA now where there's, big three. Before LeBron built his super team to go up against a super team that already had been formed in Boston. But again, it is really, really hard to gauge. I don't see why it's too hard to just see both of them as greats. We're never going to see LeBron versus MJ. It's never going to happen. Even if we maybe build time machines in the future, we can probably figure it out. I think LeBron can play in Jordan's era, and I think that Jordan can play in LeBron's era. So that being said, unfortunately, I don't think he's the greatest player of all time. I do think he's one of the greatest players I've seen play the game. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on to a topic that kind of bothers me sometimes, bothers me most of the time. With the injury to Dak Prescott, with what we've been seeing going on with COVID. Jason McCourty, one of the twin brothers of the quarterbacks or safeties on the New England Patriots, that has another brother that looks exactly like him and says probably the same thing. I think they speak like Tia and Tamara, sisters, and they finish each other's sandwiches. But Jason McCourty says that the NFL does not care about player safety. Kev, you are probably one of the biggest football fans that I know. We had B. Brooks on here a little bit, so we did get to talk a little bit about what the NFL thinks about, what ownership thinks about the players. And I think you feel really, really passionately about this subject. So, bag it or trash it, does the NFL care about player safety?
What's the exact question?
Yeah, I guess the exact question is do you agree with Jason McCourty that the NFL doesn't agree with player safety?
Okay, so for that purpose, I'm definitely bagging it, man. They're only concerned about their bottom line, and they know at the end of the day, like, the way that they run these players out there with everything that's going on, they're giving them, like, in my opinion, like a false sense of security, at least, during the week by testing them and stuff like that. So now, all of a sudden, we're 5 weeks in, and there's a bunch of scares on multiple different teams, and we got people still, like, on the sidelines, breathing in each other's face after games and stuff like that. Things that they said they weren't going to allow, and the only thing that they really enforced were the coaches being on the sideline. The coaches, the people that are the main people outside of the players on the field with their faces in front of the camera. So, again, putting on face, they're like, y'all, we're going to find them. Who knows? They probably didn't even take that money out their accounts, bro. Just being honest. So I think overall they don't care. They're worried about their bottom line. And as long as them players go out there and get the ratings, they don't care because they really believe in the next man up mentality. And they don't care if these players die out there, bro. That's just honest.
Drew.
I agree with whatever. I agree with the whole thing Kev just said. like I'm definitely going to bag this one. They really don't care. Like
All that
honestly,
bullshit's for the birds. They ain't nothing but some vultures. They don't care, bro.
they don't care.
But,
Well, I say
DQ,
the
you got
owners don't care.
Oh, yeah, of
The
course,
owners
of
don't
course.
The
Well,
owners,
neither does
the owners
Goodell.
and
I mean,
the owners
he's
in the
paid by the
league.
owner, so
The owners in the league don't care because they had an obscene amount of time to make sure they get this right and do it properly. And yeah, the bubble situation is extremely difficult, but they have other options, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with everything Kev just said.
okay. DQ,
Yes.
bag it or trash it. Do you agree with Jason McCourty thinking that the NFL does not care about player safety?
I'm going to bag it. Like the NFL is like one of those organizations where, like Ev said, like one person leaves and someone will replace you. Like that's how most jobs are nowadays. Like if you're not like most companies like now, if you drop dead, you just have another person replace you. Like they'll have like a little
In a
memorial.
week,
If you're a star player, have a little memorial for you. Put the patch on their jersey, but after like a season, you forgot it. Like they like when it comes to the head injuries, they're keeping shit secret from like players and like all these older players don't have insurance to take care of themselves after the playing days are over. Like it's fucking disgusting. Like, and the fact that it's not guaranteed contracts for players either is fucking disgusting. Like these guys, like I heard this is a like I'm not sure it's like true side, but every game a player plays is equivalent to 6 car accidents. Like
yeah, I've heard
it's
something like
fucking
that.
insane. Like they don't care. It's fucking insane. It shouldn't be happening.
John, same question. Do you agree with Jason McCourty's?
I agree. I'm a bag it. I feel like NFL has taken some steps in safety wise, but I feel like they're still a little behind. Maybe not a little, but just behind. It's a lot of stuff they have to do, especially the way this season's going. I'm still not convinced with the whole their how their COVID numbers is going. I'm still not all the way convinced with that.
Something's not adding up.
Yeah.
Something's not adding up. And I think we're going to be in for a very, very, very rude awakening pretty soon.
Yo, and they told us they doing testing on game day, and watch, we're not gonna see no kind of numbers or nothing like that for at least another week or two or something.
Like, it's crazy. Like, how does Stephon Gilmore walk up to Patrick Mahomes, give him a hug, and then test positive 2 days later? Like, and the Chiefs get to play, and I don't know, man. It's fucking
Money. You know how many people's watching that Chiefs game?
At least, what I'm trying to say, at least, people seeing that you would test Pat Mahomes and you will let the world know, oh, he tested negative.
That's a good excuse for Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. They only lost to the Raiders because Pat had the COVID, but he played through the COVID.
But they have a tough job, but I feel like they should be, and they could be doing better. Just me.
Yeah.
I think y'all lying. Y'all doing something fraudulent.
Right. I'm gonna have to agree with the team here. Obviously, like I said, and again, kind of agreeing with DQ. I said it at the top here. Even with not just the COVID stuff, but also Dak's injury, and a lot of these injuries that we've been seeing with no preseason and MetLife Stadium's curse of Jimmy Hoffa or whatever it is. You're seeing big name guys get down, get hurt. And again, they don't have guaranteed contracts, so this could be, again, back to the last dance a little bit, but we talked about Scottie Pippen taking that garbage contract that he took. It's like he took that contract because, injuries and health problems were a big part of his family. And a lot of these guys that are getting hurt aren't on big deals yet. Saquon hasn't gotten his 5th-year option yet. Nick Chubb hasn't gotten his 5th-year option yet. Dak Prescott's playing on a fucking franchise tag. It's not like Pat Mahomes is out for the season right now. Pat Mahomes is fine. The guy got signed a $530 million $580 million contract. He'd be okay. But it's these, lower level guys, these younger guys that aren't protected by the big contract. So, yeah. Now we're going to move on to Stephen A's take on players should stop complaining. Now, I have a full admission. I've been looking for this for the last couple of days. I didn't hear anything about this. Did you guys? Like, who was he talking about?
This is what he's really talking about. He's talking about he was talking about like players like thing about like the bubble, like about with like the COVID testing, and his whole idea is like there was players. You had a choice. Like there was like you see how some players neglected not to play.
Yeah, they opted
season.
out. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So with the players like electing to play this season, you know it was going to be the risk throughout like this whole thing. Like players
so real quick, was Stephen A's take the players should stop complaining about the outcome of the NBA championship due to COVID? Is that what you're saying?
No. The NBA.
What did Stephen like? What is he telling the players to stop complaining?
He was complaining about like how games are like being canceled, and like players were like having complaints about it, like games being pushed back, games being canceled. That's what players were complaining about that whole thing.
Okay,
so the NFL, they shouldn't be complaining because
NFL based. Yeah, go ahead, Kev. Yeah.
So the question is Stephen A.
Stephen
NFL players should stop complaining, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, back at the track. Do you agree?
Because I have to commit to one. I'm gonna say trash it, only because I mean they can use their voice to complain all they want, but they also have to understand that in a way they did sign up for this, and there were contingencies set in place to say, we'll have to move games or do this. At the end of the day, they signed up for it, and I mean they still have the right to complain, so that's why I'm trashing it. But to some degree, if the illusion is they're doing this for your health, then you should shut the fuck up, probably.
Now, Drew, I think we kind of got your take a little bit, but you can finish it off since you saved me in this little question here. But go ahead.
I'm gonna like. This is kind of like I see what he's saying, so I'm gonna bag it because players kind of knew what they were signing up for. Like the players that opted to stay out of this season, like knew that this season was not gonna be right. Like the players that are actually electing to play, like knew like stuff like cancellations, postponements was a possibility. So I think he is right. Like players should stop. Like he's kind of saying in a harsh way. Like players should stop complaining. Like they like what Stephen A is like basically saying. Like he's saying like what was going to happen this season. Like he's just saying in a much more harsher way. Let's just like stop complaining and bullshitting. Like what you signed up for. That's what Stephen A is saying basically. It's like I would say it, but I would say it like a bit like nicer than what Stephen A would say. Like,
yeah, no, I would probably say it exactly how he did. John, bag of the trash it. Do you think that the players should stop complaining? Do you agree with Stephen
A? I'm 50-50 on this because obviously it's like I understand where Stephen A is coming from, but it's just then again. Players just probably just want want better conditions to play. Obviously, they know what they signed up for. They just want better conditions. And it's like after a few weeks in, positive tests, crazy injuries, it's like, damn, was it really worth it? Could we be held off? Just seeing all the star players that went down. You know what I'm trying to say? Like regular tier, mid-tier players, a whole bunch of stars.
So John, your reason to disagree is because it's not because of COVID, like players contracting it. You're going on the whole players that have been injured, big name players that have been injured, right?
Yeah, so it's like obviously they don't got guaranteed contracts, so they're looking at it like that. It's like, damn, nobody wants the players to go out how they're going out right now, and it's just like every week is a new player down, this, that. So it's like I feel like that plays in a role because they probably they signed up. But they probably didn't know what they were signing up for this season. Obviously, playing football, you know what you signed up for. But the way this season has been, handled. Maybe they wasn't fully aware what they signed up for with all the missing the preseason and all this other stuff they have to do. For this season, I would say they probably wasn't fully aware. Every other season, yes, NFL players know what they sign up for when they play. But I'm 50-50 on it. I see where Stephen A. is coming from.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough to argue that. DQ, did I get your take yet? Sorry, I don't know if I skipped you.
Yeah.
I got your take?
Huh?
Really? Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna agree with John. Again, like on the injury side, I don't think they have any reason to not complain. Obviously, the NFL didn't really prep themselves hardcore for the preseason. Like I said, I've been saying this all week. The Jets and the Giants are only 0-1 because the first 4 weeks of the season was preseason. So therefore, we only really lost one game each. So yeah, that's really cool. But again, when it comes to the injuries, yes. When it comes to the COVID and safety and how we handle it, I don't think that anybody can do a better job than any like billionaire sports company. We saw a little bit of Hard Knocks where everyone's wearing masks. Like again, you do see these coaches; they're not wearing masks on the sidelines, and they're getting fined and whatever it might be. And maybe some of the guys believe in it, maybe the other guys don't. But at the end of the day, you control your own safety, and you control if you're a cat, you wear that C on your jersey. Don't let the third string fucking, tight end go out to a fucking party and then come to fucking practice the next day. You know what I mean? Like, that's on the player, so I won't feel bad for the third string tight end. I will feel bad for, like, a Patrick Mahomes, a Travis Kelce, being affected by that one dickhead out there, fucking around and contracting COVID to everybody else. So, with that being said, we are moving on, and I think Dev saved this for us on fucking purpose. But his question, and the last question of Bag of the Trash, and I cannot wait to get off of this subject. I'm going to go to I'm going to mix it up with Yankee fans and non-Yankee fans or indifferent fans. But did the Yankees choke in the bubble 2020 World Baseball Series? Whatever, who cares? Did the Yankees choke? Kevin, just get it out. Let it all out. Please let it all out. Did we choke?
I say yeah. Definitely, only because I told people going into the playoffs, as long as Aaron Judge and Stanton are getting their shots in and hitting, we need people and runners on base. That's why they're broken up in the lineup for a reason. And I'm surprised to actually say Stanton did his fucking job.
Yep.
And
so did Judge.
And Judge did too, but Stanton definitely showed up. But everybody else, DJ disappointed me a little bit, definitely going in. And everybody else just didn't work the counts like we're used to seeing them do and being on base to get those runs in. So for us to lose 2-1, it was tough. There was no excuse for us to only have put up 1 point.
One run.
In a do or die game. We left too many runners on base. So I think we did show.
Okay. I mean, in their defense, it was a great pitching matchup. It's the typical boring baseball game that the average fan won't enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy that game. I hung my hat on the fact that, we got outplayed. But let's mix it up now. DQ, since you probably should be a Yankee hater, even though you're not, did we choke? The Yankees choke.
You guys, they didn't choke. It's just that situationally, like you said, Stanton and Judge were productive. Just that other teammates weren't productive in the time they should have been. Like every time I seen Aaron Judge hit a home run, this was when they needed it. Like that was the problem.
Yeah, I didn't see too much out of Gleyber this series specifically against the Rays. Obviously we caught lightning in the bottle with a guy like Gio Urshela, but this guy gets on base.
The Yankees
won a batting title, and I mean, how many times did he get on in the series? Like 4 or 5, and again, not in moments where it mattered. Johnny, did the Yankees choke? Bag of trash.
I'm gonna trash it. The Yankees didn't choke. Obviously, us
Finally.
expect them to be thing, but realistically, we lost to good pitching. When it comes down to it, we play against elite pitching that neutralizes that great lineup that we have. So to go to battle, you need pitching to match pitching, and then battle.
And we did, and we battled for a really, really long time. Aroldis gave up another game-winning home run.
Cold his thing, but it's like, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Once he comes out, other pitchers got to do their jobs. And once he came out,
no, of course. Yeah.
Again.
And this time, Aroldis, they didn't know what pitch was coming. Or did they? Drew, did the Yankees choke?
Nah, I don't think so. I really think the Rays was just kind of really better than – I would say the Rays played better than y'all. Thing about with choking, choking is like you're supposed to win, but when a team is kind of better than you, I can't call that a choke. I can't call it.
Yeah. So I'm going to follow John and Drew on this, and DQ too. Kev, so you're the odd man out. We didn't choke. These were things that I worried about during the bubble season. I was watching this team struggle against good pitching. We hadn't beaten the Rays when we used to just beat them up in the past. We haven't beaten them in the regular season. And again, the main thing I'm going to constantly hang my hat on, and I'll always hang my hat on, the teams that we lost to and the teams that ended up winning the World Series in the last 4 years, now this is, I guess, if you count this year, the 60-game season, they went on to win the World Series, with the exception of the Astros getting caught and getting smoked by the Nationals last year. The Rays were the best team in baseball, and there's no arguing that. Aroldis gave up another go-ahead home run that ended up costing us the game, and had a fucking smile the whole time. Like, why the fuck are you laughing, dude? Like, stop fucking laughing when you give up game-winning home runs. So I would say that the Yankees didn't choke. I would say that Aroldis choked, but also the Rays were the better team. Again, that was a really, really good baseball game to watch. I wasn't as upset. I mean, I threw a fucking tantrum in this very living room here, when Jose Altuve hit that home run to end the game last year. This time, I was watching it while I was simultaneously watching something else. I think I was watching the Boys season finale. If you guys aren't watching the Boys, watch the Boys. I know we're not a TV show, sports podcast, but maybe we'll start a subsidiary podcast with me and Johnny. That may be coming soon. I just closed the laptop and walked away, and I wasn't upset. I was like, yep, whatever. It is what it is. The Yankees lost, and they lost to the better team. So we're done here. We're moving on to, guys, what's up next? Marquee Misses?
To me, the biggest takeaway from that Yankees and Rays series is that the Rays clearly don't know how to act when they haven't been so before, because them trolling.
Yeah, they haven't been there. That's all right. Let them troll. Let them troll. And I really, really enjoy all the Yankee haters on the internet. I won't name names. I do respect a lot of them that are out there. I think we kind of strive to be them. Eventually, one day we want to get to their level of platform. But the guys that were trolling the Yankees, it was actually pretty funny. I can't even be mad at it. There were guys playing the New York theme song. They were popping champagne bottles, and they're just they're just upset Red Sox fans and upset Met fans. My kid brother, who again was forced to be a Red Sox fan by my father, who no longer is a Red Sox fan or will be a Red Sox fan when the Red Sox win. I won't get into the fact that he's a front runner, but that's kind of like Drew. He only really roots for his team when they do well. But my kid brother is a diehard Red Sox fan, and he texted me literally the next day. He said, Yankees suck. And I said, yeah, man, I know. What do you want me to do? But, yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. We'll get there again. We'll get there eventually. We still have a good, strong, young team. Maybe we get Severino back. Maybe we get Domingo Germán back. Garrett Cole's still going to be here forever. Tanaka, we'll see what happens with you. But I think we're okay pitching-wise. We'll figure it out. And the bats are obviously always going to be there. So, anyway. We're moving on. I don't want to get sad and depressed again. To the Marquee Misses, Drew's baby.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first since it's your baby?
Oh yes, the
So
Marquee
for those of
Misses-
you who don't know, the Marquee Misses Drew's segment where we talk about a game that may not be highlighted, a game that might not be talked about, a game that might not be overhyped, and obviously since basketball's done and baseball, we already know what's going on. They're all in the playoffs, so these are marquee events. We're going to do strictly the NFL, and then we will also go with our marquee fantasy sleeper and or player sleeper, someone who's going to have a great performance this week. So, Drew, who is your marquee miss for the week?
My Marquee Miss for the week is going to be a great AFC North matchup in the Browns and the Steelers. This is going to be the type of test where I really gauge the Browns' level at this. Are you really for real, or are you really just out here playing, bro? This is going to be a great test for the Browns, bro.
Yep. DQ.
My marquee miss for week 6 is the Cardinals and Cowboys. I want to see how the Cowboys bounce back from Dak's injury.
Hey,
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good pick. Johnny.
I'm on the same boat with my man's Drew. Steelers Browns. That Steelers defense versus the Surgeon Browns.
Yeah. That's a very, very good game. Kevin, is it the Washington football team versus the Giants?
Nah, absolutely not.
That's a shit bowl. That's a shit bowl.
Toilet bowl. You can say
Hold on,
toilet.
'cause-
Come on, let's have a little bit of respect. We have ladies listening to this podcast.
Shit,
Bowl.
Yeah.
5 versus 1-4. Come on now.
Johnny's catch.
Times is my team.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Kev. Sorry.
All right, wait, because I had it, but now there we go. So, yeah, Lions-Jags is my pick because I think Jags' defense is sus, but Minshew is always balling out. I think that's a low-key potential shootout, and I always love a shootout. And Matthew Stafford, he's so up and down. He has to step up and prove himself that he can beat Minshew. If he can't beat Minshew in a shootout, then I'm jumping off the Stafford train altogether.
I'm not gonna lie, Lions fake suck though, but hey.
They do.
Hey, listen, they were up 17-0 on the Saints a couple
exactly.
back, so
they
they blew it. But that's the Lions. Matt Patricia's just another example of Bill Belichick head coaches that go on and think that they're going to be Bill Belichick and don't have success.
My sidebar one was going to be Atlanta Vikings. Because again, I think Atlanta is what's the record right now? Atlanta is 0-5. 0-5. I think Atlanta has the best offense of the 0-5 teams.
Interim head coach. Usually, we should probably look up that stat, but I would really, really like to know how teams do after they fire their head coach. Go ahead, Joe.
Out there, that's another shit bowl. 0-5 versus 1-4. That's two.
Correct. Toilet bowls. Indeed. And then, so my marquee miss is the fraudulent, maybe not so fraudulent. Maybe they're good, maybe they're not good. Chicago Bears versus who've been on a run lately, the newly led Teddy Bridgewater, Matt Rule, rebuild Carolina Panthers. So I think that might be a really, really good game.
Bears are annoying, bro.
I want to pick the fucking Bears, and we'll get to our picks later. But all right, well, that's our marquee miss game. Marquee miss player, guy that's gonna blow up this week. Drew.
I would say Kareem Hunt for the Browns. Kareem Hunt for the Browns is going up against.
Didn't have a bad game last week. All right. Okay. DQ, your picking of Dak Prescott like 5 weeks in a row, I think might have jinxed him.
So I'm going for another.
Might have jinxed him. So whoever you pick, everyone, if you're listening now, and when DQ picks him, don't start him in your fantasy team. DQ is a fucking jinx. Go ahead, DQ.
I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield because I want to see how he reacts to.
Man, I really, really hope he doesn't get hurt.
Oh, man, I need him.
Nah, he's questionable right now.
I think he'll play. I think he'll play.
Hey, questionable, what questionable really means.
Johnny.
My sleeper marquee miss for this week is my guy, Robbie Anderson.
Okay, all
Ain't
right.
no sleeper. Robbie's lighting up the league right now.
Kind of a sleeper. I mean, he has good. He's Robbie. He could have one game with 100 yards and then another game with like 2 catches for like 25 yards and like 8 drops. Ken, who is your sleeper this week?
So I got one, but I got 2. So let me say my side shit first. My sleeper is definitely Cam if he plays.
Okay.
Which I hope he plays. But I'm gonna have to go with again Matthew Stafford again. He's got to show something because we're about to hit the panic button on him, call him a fraud, all of that.
Okay. Mine's gonna be pretty deep. But because we've seen a lot of wide receivers kind of blow up on this team, it is a Monday night game, the second game in our Monday night doubleheader. Obviously, everyone knows you should probably double up DeAndre Hopkins. You should totally keep an eye on Larry Fitzgerald. And maybe you should probably keep a shadow on Christian Kirk. But a lot of people forget about Andy Isabella. Andy Isabella had 2 touchdowns, I think 3 games before. I think he went for like 100, almost close to 100 yards. I think the kid easily against that Cowboys defense gets 85 yards, at least 1 touchdown. Because he will be wide open because everybody will be worried about the other weapons that the Cardinals have.
Same, yo. CeeDee Lamb's going to cook in that game, too.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's a really, really good fantasy game to watch. I didn't realize we were getting 2 double headers. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
but perfectly segueing us into the next. It's our Pick'ems of the Week. So the graphic is here at some point. I think, Drew, you won last week. We skipped a few games because a few games didn't really go through. I believe I have all the games here. So if anybody wants to pull up what they see, make sure that I don't miss one. Obviously, without our Molly, without our referee, we probably should have said this at the top. We didn't say it maybe, but I'll say it freely.
Without our Molly.
Without our Molly, Dev will be back soon. He will be back next week, and I think we have a couple complications going forward. But for now, Dev is healthy, and he will be back pretty soon. But anyway, graphic is right here. Check it out. You see it? Everybody see it? You see the standings too next. Next slide is the standings. This is where we all rank. I don't know where we rank. Pretty sure I'm at the bottom of that list because I was lying for the first 3 weeks. And now I am not. So we will get those back. So the first game of the week is oh, man, that's brutal. We got the Texans at the epicenter of COVID, Tennessee Titans. Johnny, who you got?
Say that again? My bad.
We got Texans at the Titans.
Titans.
Okay. DQ.
I'm going to go a little off. Since I'm in first place, I can afford a few losses, I'm going to go with the Texans.
Okay. Kev.
Titans.
Andrew.
The COVID boys, the Titans.
Titans. I will go with the Titans as well. They are the real deal. Again, Ryan Tannehill. He's Adam Gase. Runs in for a couple touchdowns.
Look where he goes.
Pretty great.
Look where he ends up.
Pretty good. Also, I know I was shitting on Bill Belichick's former Padawans, but Mike Vrabel, former Padawan, Bill Belichick, doing pretty good. Okay, next up, we got the Ravens visiting
very good too.
the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we can all.
Philly versus who?
Ravens.
One.
Go ahead.
Two.
2, 3. Ravens.
Okay.
Ravens.
I'm gonna go with Philly because
The
I
battle of the
think
boys.
they are on a run. They're on a run.
Ravens.
Okay, next up in Johnny's toilet bowl, we got the Falcons versus the Vikings. Johnny, you're wearing the purple and gold. Who we got?
Yeah, I'm wearing the purple and gold, but I got the Falcons.
Okay. DQ.
Falcons versus who again? I'm sorry.
Vikings.
I'm gonna go Vikings.
Okay, Kev.
Vikings.
Drew.
The Falcons go win their first game. I'm going with the Falcons.
Yeah, interim head coach. Really, really love it. Would love to see a lot from Justin Jefferson this week. Kirk Cousins is really bad. Defense is really bad. So is the. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Fuck, I regret that already.
Also, Dalvin Cook's most likely to miss this week's game.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that too. Okay, and Drew's marquee miss. Drew, I'm gonna let you go first since it is your marquee miss. We got the Browns versus the Steelers. Who you got?
I'm just have to go with the odds and just the Steelers is winning. I would love it the Browns. I would love it if the Browns cake up, but Steelers is going to win that.
Kev.
Browns.
DQ.
I'm gonna go with the Browns.
And Johnny.
Browns.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
I don't care what the over under is on this game. I'm gonna go way under. I think both these defenses are really good. I don't think that any of these teams are going to be able to get the ground game running. They might have to air it out super late. But I'm going to go with the proven commodity in the Pittsburgh Steelers. This might be Big Ben's year again. It's sad, but it might
win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it might be his year. Yeah, I think it might be his year. Just bold prediction, early prediction. Could be wrong. I'll change my mind later. Moving on. We got the Bengals visiting again, remember I said this, number 1 ranked defense in the NFL, Indianapolis Colts. Kevin, who do you
got? Colts.
DQ, who you got?
Sorry, against I was trying to check if the CBS
Bengals versus the Colts.
I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Johnny.
Colts.
DQ or Drew?
The Colts.
I'm going to also go with the Colts. God damn it. Didn't want to do that either. Okay. We got the Lions versus the Jaguars in the Big Cat Bowl. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Big Cat Rescue Bowl. Carol Baskins versus Joe Exotic. DQ, who you got?
Lions.
Okay. Drew, who you got?
Jags.
Johnny.
Lions.
And Kev.
Jags.
I will go with the Jaguars as well. Yeah, fuck. I'm regretting every fucking pick I make. Okay. Jesus Christ. These are all 1 o'clock games, by the way, guys. This is pretty nuts. Thank God we play at 4 o'clock. Okay, my marquee miss of the week, and I'm going to go first because it's my marquee miss of the week. We got the Bears versus the Panthers, and I'm going to choose the Bears. I guess I'm going to choose the Bears. I don't really want to pick the Bears. Guys, should I pick the Bears? Or the Panthers?
Bears? Well, you want to? You want to pick the Bears? Come on.
All right, I'm going with the Bears. Okay, Johnny, who you got?
I am going with the Panthers.
Kev?
Bears.
Q.
Bears.
And Drew.
Panthers.
Okay, next up, we got the Washington football team versus the New York Giants. Kev, you go first.
I have the Redskins.
Drew, you go first.
Washington football team. They're not the Redskins no more.
Yeah, I know, but ESPN still has the
Shut
Redskins.
your ass up, you bitch.
Okay, just make your pick, Drew.
Okay. All right. I'm going with the Washington. I'm not sure about that game
Okay.
at all, but
EQ
I'm going with the Giants.
and Johnny.
The G-Men.
Who's the quarterback for the Washington football team?
I don't
Is it
know.
really-
Like,
Is it really going to be him?
I think
is it
so.
not?
I don't know how the severity of Kyle.
Nah, actually, they said Kyle Allen was going to be the starter, so they did say that Kyle
What was
Allen.
his-
is
All
gonna
right, I'm not taking
All
any
right,
chances. Giants get their first one. Congratulations, guys. You're going to get it way before we do. Okay. Next up, we got the Broncos versus the Patriots. Again, still in the freaking
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock bracket. It's kind of weird. So yeah, Johnny, who you got?
If Cam plays the Patriots,
Mhm.
but even without Cam playing, they probably win because the Broncos don't got a quarterback. But if Cam plays,
What are you talking about? They got Kyle Rippin and whatever. The guys that lit up the Jets and scored like 48 points, even though they had like 2 pick sixes.
didn't Rippon get benched?
Okay, yeah, you're right. It's fine. Okay, so John's got the Pats regardless. DQ, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Patriots. I can afford a few losses.
Okay, Drew, who you got?
I'll probably have to go with the Pats.
And Kevin, who you got, buddy?
Pats.
I will also go with the fucking Patriots. Whatever. Okay, now on to the 4 o'clock games and a game that I don't ever want to discuss. And I'm going to tell you who I'm going to go with. We got the Jets versus the Miami Dolphins. Kevin, you can go first now.
The Jets. You'll get your first one.
Wow. That was really, really nice of you. After the way Fitzpatrick played last week, I don't agree. Johnny, who you got?
Nah, no lie, that's a tough one because if Sam Darnold plays, I'll go.
Sam's probably not going to play. I mean, it's just.
I'll play, so I'm gonna go Dolphins.
All right. Drew.
Damn.
Miami.
Miami. And there's no reason behind it either. That's really great. DQ, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Dolphins so you can get your wish and get your coach fired.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins. And the only reason why I'm going to go with the Dolphins, too, is because the Jets are really, really good at creating quarterbacks that ruin our lives. We did it to Drew Bledsoe, and we got Tom Brady. I believe we did it to Tyrod Taylor, and we ended up getting Baker Mayfield, who should have been ours. And so we are going to do it to Fitzpatrick. We're going to hurt him. We're going to put him out, and Tua's going to light us up, and Tua will continue to be the MVP of the NFC East until proven otherwise. So Miami gets to keep their franchise quarterback, and the Jets, hopefully, but probably not, fire Adam Gase. Next up, we've got the Packers versus Johnny's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Johnny, you can go first.
Nah, let him go last. This one's tough for John. Fuck that. Let
Okay,
him go
all
last.
right. Johnny can go last. Who hasn't gone first yet? DQ.
Three teams again. I'm sorry. Fan is on.
Packers, Buccaneers.
I'm going to go with the Packers. So I'm going to discount double check.
Kevin?
Yeah, it's still a tough one regardless. God damn. You know if Devontae's playing or not?
Devontae will be playing, I believe. Jones is healthy. Obviously, Rodgers is healthy. I think maybe they get Lazard back too, but they also created that new tight end stud.
See, Tampa has a better defense.
Sure. Who you got?
Green Bay.
Okay. Drew.
Green Bay. Off right.
Johnny, is it the bad man or is it your boyfriend Tom Brady?
The bad man versus Goat Brady.
Your boyfriend Brady.
That's a game right there.
Yeah, probably the game of the week.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be a marquee miss because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on every channel.
It should be
Well, it'll be nationally broadcast for sure.
Please, Lord, be on
I'm
every
actually
channel.
second. You know,
I'd rather kill myself if I have to watch the Jets play.
Goat Brady.
No, they'll be on 5, Kev. They'll be on channel 5. Jets will be on CBS.
I hate that so much. Isn't
They
there
get
football
no
on the Channel
views.
7 too now? NBC?
Yeah, the night games. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Sunday night.
That's channel 4.
Oh yeah, Channel 5 for the 425 game will be on Fox.
I know what I'll be tuning into. I watch Red Zone anyway. I don't fucking watch
You're not gonna watch your
Okay,
Jets.
baller.
This is a tough game. No, I rock with the bad man, and I rock with Brady. I'm going Goat.
So who's your pick, John? Spit it
Go
out.
He said, "Go Brady."
Go Brady. That's an awful take. Tom Brady is obviously early onset right now. He didn't even know what down it was. Putting up so we had Pat. So it's crazy how it's becoming full circle. Pat Mahomes did the, one. They got me ranked at 4. And then you had last week, you had Aaron Rodgers throw not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 touchdowns. And then you had fucking early onset dementia Brady who's walking into random people's houses in Tampa.
It's a
Doesn't
conspiracy.
even know what down it is. And he's going, that was 4th down?
There was 4 moments where 4 things happened that dealt with the number 4.
Yeah, open your third eye. DQ always got his third eye open. I think Brady is losing his freaking mind. Clearly, Gronk is not even around anymore. Mike Evans can't stay healthy, even though he's one of my favorite wide receivers in the game. I'm going to go with the Pack. Okay, next game. We've got Sunday Night Football. The LA Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers that are up in arms right now. I mean, obviously last week we saw them get destroyed by the Dolphins. We saw Jimmy Garoppolo get benched. Obviously they're having a lot of defensive injury problems. I know this seems like it could be a chalk up, but it also could be a trap game for the LA Rams. So, Drew, you go first.
I'm going to go with the chalk. I'm going to go with Rams. Rams.
Okay. Kev, who you got?
The Rams.
DQ?
Look, Chargers.
Chargers aren't playing in that game. It's the Rams versus the 49ers.
Rams versus 49ers.
I heard
Really cool. Really cool.
I heard the Chargers, so the guy heard you say Chargers.
No, not this week.
Niners.
Sorry, buddy.
Chargers got to buy.
Oh, shut the I heard Chargers, so the guy heard Chargers. I think the 49ers though.
Okay, and Johnny.
The Rams.
Okay, I will also go with the Rams. They look like they are a problem again. I guess the Rams are the same team that went to the Super Bowl and pretty much blew it when they got there last year. And now on to our Monday Night Football games. We saw 2 undefeated teams lose this week. The defending Super Bowl champions and the number 1 in the AFC East Buffalo Bills lose respectively to the Raiders, and just now to the Tennessee Titans. Wrapped up that game a little bit earlier this week. So, DQ, who you got?
I have the Chiefs.
Johnny.
Johnny, like, yo, we can't do this across the board.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, if you want, I don't know where. I didn't know where DQ was going to land. I really don't know where Drew's going to land.
I don't think we can. I actually like the Bills this game.
Okay,
I like the Bills.
See?
Wait, where are they
I like the
playing?
Bills.
Are they playing on Laura Field?
They're playing in Buffalo, but not that it matters.
Not that it matters.
I kind of like the Bills. So
All right.
Okay.
All right.
yeah,
So, Johnny, you got the Chiefs, I'm assuming?
yes.
And Kev, you have?
I got Kansas City. That man Pat is not happy about losing last week.
So we all agree that the Chiefs, with the exception of Drew, he goes with the Bills. Is that correct?
I guess so.
Okay. All right. And our last game of the week is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Dallas newly led Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
So, Kev, you go first. Who you got?
Dallas.
Yeah, that's a really good call. Was not expecting that from you. Drew,
Cardinals.
Johnny,
Dallas.
and DQ.
Cardinals.
Wow. I think we all went in the opposite directions that I thought we were all going to go. I am also going to go with Dallas. Really, really. Unless it's Dak. You're done with the Cowboys now? DQ? Is that what it is?
Fuck Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, those are our pick'ems. We will get the graphic up now, probably, I guess. And since Dev is not here currently, he will also make his picks. He will also update the graphic. He could be lying and he could be cheating for all we know because he edits this on Wednesday. So he could kind of maybe steal our picks and or make up his own picks or maybe put this episode after the Thursday Night Football game. We're not too sure. But I got my eye on you, Dev. Got my eye on you. All right, moving on to the last segment. I just want to get this right before we do that. So it's Fab Five. It's always Fab Five. What's that? All right. Anyway, last segment. We are on our Fab Five. It's one of our favorite segments. Today's Fab Five because the NBA season just ended. Because the Lakers won again, the LeBron won again, whatever, who cares? We are going to rank our NBA bubble season players. So the guys that you saw that perform the best in the bubble. Doesn't have to be the championship team. Doesn't have to be the runner-up. Doesn't even have to be a team that made it to the playoffs. So as we always start with our main man who used to cheat, but now he's been pretty good. Drew, who you got at number 5?
Yo, you go like this at Devin Booker.
Yeah, he's super low on their list.
Devin fucking Booker.
Love it.
This dude won 8 fucking games straight, bro. Him.
Right.
Fucking
and let's not forget, he went first. Hold on, the real ones get that.
This is bubble, not just playoffs. Bubble.
Nah,
8 games counted. The 8 games counted.
You're right. You're absolutely right. DQ, who you got at number 5?
What's that dude saying from the Pacers? I'm not picking him no, but
TJ
I'm
Warren?
go with Devin Booker.
You're TJ Warren. That's
TJ Warren?
Talking about TJ Warren. He's 12.
Well, I'm going Devin Booker anyway, but I'll go with
Devin Booker again, too low on that list. But again, I appreciate it.
You only played 8 games.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. Kevin, who you got at number 5?
Number 5, I got the King LeBron James himself at number 5.
Let him. Hey.
Simple. He won it all, but we expect the world from him. So whenever he gives us, in my opinion, is never enough. Even though he won a chip, I'm happy for him. Yeah, he's number 5. All these other players, man, they deserve more credit, man. LeBron.
Yeah, I agree. I see where Kev's coming from, and a lot of you are going to be pretty unhappy with my list, I guess, at some point. But I get where he's coming from. LeBron is already he's LeBron, dude. Everybody knows he's LeBron. My list is based off of dudes. My list is based off of guys that coming after this bubble is gonna be like, yo, he made it. He did something. That's what my list is full of, and I think Kev's is pretty much going to go the same way. So, Johnny, who you got at number 5?
Number 5, I have Dame.
Dame Lillard. Okay, yeah. My number 5 might be higher on the rest of yours. Pretty low on mine, though, because fuck Boston. Jason Tatum. Yeah, I thought he had a good bubble. I thought he had a good playoff.
Yeah, good bubble.
Yeah. Drew, at number 4, who you got?
Jamal Murray. He definitely emerged as like one of the top point guards in the league when he's playing with the Denver Nuggets this whole bubble. So Jamal Murray.
Yeah, kind of surprised the world there. Again, a little too low there. Who went next? DQ, number 4.
With an average of 31 points, 6.3 rebounds, 2 assists, and an impressive 52% from 3. CJ Warren. He was balling, but got to the playoffs, he shut down. But besides that, he was doing his thing. He may get a nice, hefty contract coming up soon.
My man at number 3 shut his ass down.
Okay, Kev, at number 4, who you got?
Okay, and number 4, 89.5% from the free throw line, over 12 free throw attempts per game. Finished second overall in scoring in the bubble, 35.3 points per game. I'm giving James Harden number 4, not only because of those numbers, but because we finally watched my man step up and take his defense to another level. You'll get there over the hump one day when LeBron retires. But
One day
that's my
indeed.
4.
Johnny, number 4.
Number 4 is Jamal Murray.
Yep. Following John, I'm also going to go with Jamal Murray. Obviously, the run that he had in the playoffs, making it to the Western Conference Final, and even didn't he put up 50 some odd against those pre-mentioned world champion Lakers? So yeah.
I think it will.
Okay. Number 3, Drew. Who you got?
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Bucket.
Oh.
This guy was just unbelievable in the playoffs. Even though you fell short, but we're gonna be there next year. Jimmy Butler gets you back.
We are gonna be there next year, as we always say. Every fan of every team. DQ number 3.
Luka Doncic.
Luka's definitely a good pick, but not too high enough.
Very good, very good. Kev, who you got?
So my number 3 is also Luka, but
Yeah.
I have a stat here that I verified it, but you guys can verify it again. It says that he's the only player to score like in history as high as 36 points while also having 14 rebounds and 19 assists.
He averaged a triple dub.
So that's dope. But I also don't really believe the hype, but I think he had an awesome bubble. We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah. And again, with a healthy KP, if that even exists, I think KP and Luka together, that combination. Johnny,
ain't no healthy KP. He big as hell. He too big.
That's true. Johnny, number 3.
My number 3 is like Drew, Jimmy Bucket. Jimmy Butler is my number 3.
Yeah, John, I already know who your 2 and 1 are. So that's pretty lame. My number 3 is also following suit with everybody else. Luka. Yeah, he arrived. I think he showed. Again, my list is based off of guys that were either underrated or guys that have arrived and have shown that, hey, I does this basketball shit. So fuck a LeBron. I know you know LeBron. I know you know Kawhi. I know you know KD and Kyrie and Steph. These are guys, hey, put me in this conversation. So these are the guys that I'm going to put in those conversations. So, Drew, who you got at number 2?
Anthony Davis, bro. There's no question about it.
Of course it is.
No question.
Yeah. DQ, number 2.
My list is similar to yours, pretty much because it's not full of the superstars. It's about the people who perform the best in the bubble.
Thank you.
Not the ones who accomplish. So my number 2 is Jamal Murray.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Kev, your number 2 is?
My number 2 is because I actually watched 5 out of these 8 games that he consecutively won.
Let's go, Kev.
I have Devin Booker at number 2 because,
Yes.
bro, what I saw, I'm like, oh, this man is automatic from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Once he locked in, like you talk about locking in, that's like something that, I mean, Eddie doesn't really know about because he's never really played a sport overly competitively. But yo,
Yeah.
once you feel locked in and you know you're locked in, you get your second win, everything like that. Yo, I know the feeling, and to have that on that level, yo, he balled out, son. And I really feel bad that you missed getting that last playoff spot.
He has bullshit. It's total.
Yeah, that
total.
was bullshit.
Johnny, number 2, AD.
It's a fact. Number 2 is Anthony Davis.
Damn,
Originally, I was gonna do a tie, but number 2 is Anthony Davis.
My number 2, simpatico with Kev. My guy. Everyone knows my love for Devin Booker. Devin Booker.
Your
Duh.
MCM.
That's right. And again, he went first. Drew, your number 1.
I think it's obvious. Your boy LeBron James, the MVP of
That's
the
your boy.
finals, bro. Number 4 rings, my nigga. Second to the GOAT, but we got it. The king is here. The king.
Yeah. Doesn't look like you're that upset that Miami lost.
I am upset.
DQ number 1.
You know what? Y'all
Number 1 is
y'all nailed it.
obviously the motherfucking bubble MVP, Dame Lillard. Like, who else would it be?
Yeah.
He showed his, he lost in the playoffs. Like, he showed out. Like, Dame's been underrated for too long. It's like, people need to know how to do this.
Yeah. Good pick. Mr. Jet, who do you got?
So, my number 1 was just said. The first man to end a season with 3 consecutive 40-plus games. Led the bubble with 37.6 points per game. Dame
Dollar. Dame
Filthy, bro.
Dollar, forget the small change.
And
Give
and
me.
one of those was what? Like 61 points he put up in like his second to last game? Ball.
Yeah. Johnny, number 1, Skip. LeBron.
I'm definitely gonna have to give it to LeBron James. You know,
LeBron
James.
I'll give him the number 1. I was gonna do it, two-way tie between him and AD, but
John, did LeBron invite all Laker fans to a Zoom Taco Tuesday? Did you not get the invite?
Taco Tuesday.
That's what I heard. I heard that every Laker fan gets to be a part of it.
LA out there spreading the virus right now. They bugging out.
Facts.
They're spreading the vivid.
They are bugging out, son. Shout out to that man in that. Shout out to that man in the bubble.
Yeah,
showed up.
watch the Lakers not get a parade. You're gonna be like, virtual parade. You're gonna dub it.
They need to. They wild
The
out.
actual parade, you think they're gonna have them like a ceremony in Lakers in like
California just got off the COVID list, so hopefully.
Nah, they back on it.
It's not gonna be no parade. They probably
they're back on already? They just got taken off like 2 weeks ago. I mean, 2 days ago.
They about to be back on it. After this,
man.
bro, they wilding down by the Staples Center.
Yeah, you're absolutely
right.
right.
You never been to the Staples Center. Yo, me and John went to the Staples Center, and it's like, it's so massive, the space there, even though it wasn't like popping the day we went. Bro, the amount of people in that video is 10 times more than what you actually see, bro. There's mad space on the road and across from the Staples Center is like half a football field worth of open space, bro. Like,
well, that's scary, and I want no part of that. But I'm gonna get to my final number 1. My number 1 is a guy who I think he had a bad rep going around all over the league. I don't think he got enough attention that he should. And again, my list is based off of guys. We know Dame. Dame should be on my list. He's an honorable mention. He should be my number 1 because, again, like DQ said, he is a little underrated, but I think a lot of people know who Dame is. And I think this guy that I'm going to pick doesn't get the rep and the credit that he deserves. That is Jimmy Butler. What he did was amazing. We lost DQ. It's fine. We'll do the prelude without him. Okay. Any honorable mentions? You guys got any honorables? Go ahead. List them off.
TJ Warren.
Donovan Mitchell.
Jokic. Jokic definitely. TJ Warren.
We got Jokic.
TJ
Jason Taylor.
Caruso.
Smart.
Caruso?
I was kidding.
Rondo. Rondo is
Danny Green.
Rondo is an honorable mention in mine.
Danny Green just knocks down threes.
Danny Green.
Danny Green laying bricks.
All right. Well, that's our episode. It's been episode 26. We're done. We made it through it. I think I did a better job refereeing you guys today. I took some shots to segue, and that worked. But hopefully this is the last week that I have to do this. Dev will be
the
back.
prelude was
Like we said, he'll be back. So, that being said, it's the Out of Shape Allstars podcast. You guys already know what to do. Download, like subscribe, comment,
subscribe.
share, tell your friends. Tell us what your favorite episode is. And the easiest thing to get people to listen to a podcast that you haven't listened to before is putting them on to your favorite episode. So it doesn't have to be this episode. It could be this episode. If today's episode is your favorite episode, then play them this episode. Just let them listen to one of our episodes.
Like, comment, subscribe, and if you don't like what we're saying,
Tell us who your favorite person on the cast is.
That's right. Look, at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of guys talking shit about sports and 9 times out of 10, we don't know what we're talking about. We pretend we know what we're talking about. If you like what we say, if you don't like what we say, you're right. We're stupid. We don't get it. If you do agree with us, then you're also right. So it's just what it is. It's the Out of Shape Allstars podcast. What do we always say? I didn't do it last week. Somebody set me up. Actually, you know what? Donnie, what do I usually say?
We out.
We out.